Yeah, my biggest takeaway is the same point I've had the last 2 weeks, that CJ Kirst should have been playing attack since day one in the PLL.
Say it!
This isn't the victory lap you think it is.
I'm originally from Syracuse, 10 minutes away from the Dome. My whole high school career, I was like, I want to go to 𝐓𝐄 bad. I still remember to this day, like, they told me I was too small. They told me I wasn't big enough.
And we're back with another episode of the Mitchell Pehlke Lacrosse Show, episode 28. It's kind of crazy in year 2. We're already here, but end of the season's coming. Sponsored by Duke Cannon on TLN. Don't forget about it. Let's get right into the fire. There is no safe lead in the PLL. We're going to talk to Jake Piseno a little bit later today. The Outlaws with a crazy comeback. It just shows there is no safe lead in this league. The Atlas, the Chaos, the Redwoods all pulled off fourth quarter comebacks. And it just comes to show, whenever we do pick-ems too, sometimes I go like this and just pick 4 teams because it's so hard to tell. But at the end of the day, 3 teams came back. What a weekend for the Premier Lacrosse League. Kev, what was your favorite game out of this past slate?
Dude, the Outlaws Atlas game was electric. If you tuned out to any of those 3 games you just mentioned at halftime or the end of the third quarter, you missed great lacrosse. I think this just proves you got to be glued. You got to be watching these games start to finish. But yeah, Outlaws Atlas went to overtime, thrilling, in front of the home crowd, rebounding from the loss the day before. That was awesome, and I really hope we get to see that again in the PLL championship.
100%. What was your favorite part of this weekend? Do I have a favorite moment, favorite play?
I smell it.
Kind of makes you have frogitis a little bit. Hit the frog. What is that smell? Dukes, do you smell something?
Kev's grabbing it. There it is.
Yeah.
Little Duke Cannon Midway body wash, baby. Come on.
Woo! Midway body wash. Duke Cannon, work harder, smell better. Moment of the week, Hoagie, what do we got?
We got the Jared Bernhardt OT game winner in the game of the weekend, the game of the season. Wins it in front of the home crowd in Denver. Oh, my God. That was one of the best games I ever seen.
Unanimous.
That overtime gave me flashbacks to last year's Whips Atlas PLL semifinal where it was just like possession on possession. Liam Entenmann robbed a should-have-been goal earlier in that overtime period. And then Jared Bernhardt, Mr. Clutch. That's 2 times now in the last 3 weeks where he's come up Mr. Clutch. Had the go-ahead goal with a minute left against the Cannons 2 weeks ago in Fairfield. Now gets the OT game winner in Denver. And the Outlaws avoid that very scary 0-2 weekend, which would have been disastrous. But what a moment, Jared Bernhardt. I think he's finally comfortable in this league. You've seen it the last couple weeks. Unbelievable. Duke Cannon, work harder, smell better, moment of the week.
Who saw it coming? I saw it coming. I could have predicted it. When he was on the show, my Wi-Fi was busting out, and he was like, Pehlke probably could have been in the league if he put down the vlog camera. Like, I saw it coming. I'm not going to be the only one.
Some lacrosse players, he said, put down the bottle. He was like, Pehlke, put down the vlog camera.
Mitch, I will say, trending this weekend on Twitter was Can't Kill the Chaos was trending. I think you started the new nickname for the Chaos moving forward.
Can't kill the Chaos.
Chaos posted the picture on the game winner and said Can't Kill the Chaos. Mitch, you might have started the new nickname for the team.
I might have started. I think I started it, but also it doesn't have me a great look when I don't pick the Chaos and I get every Chaos meme Twitter coming at me after I don't pick them and they win.
Are you picking the Chaos this weekend?
I will be picking the Chaos this weekend. Rowlett, Newman, Blaze, the 3 Italians. We will have a win this weekend. I could potentially see them being in the semifinals too. I'm not going to talk about it just yet. We will get to that in a couple episodes. But I want to talk to you about something. Dukes, as a Notre Dame, as an Atlas guy yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Do we think Liam Entenmann has a not being clutch problem?
Are you saying that the guy that basically carried Notre Dame to 2 back-to-back national championships, backbone that defense, came in time and time again, doesn't have the clutch gene? Mitch, did you go to Ohio State? Did you even get a degree? Ohio State's a pretty good school.
Hold on.
It's not so to get into.
I'm not.
I'm just saying.
I'm not.
You're a smart guy. Let's put this together. Are you trying to say that he's not clutch? I'm pressing you now, buddy. I got the power button. I got the power button. Are you trying to infer that he's not clutch?
No, I'm asking, and I'm posing a question to the 3 co-hosts on here. Is he not clutch? Because if you read your homework, we talked Champ Series. What happened? The 2-bomb where you left the arena and then bang ball, Trainer hit it on Entenmann. Then we talked about the semifinals. No,
Jeff wrong one.
Hit a single. Point the thumb, not the finger. Then we talked about the semifinals last year.
Correct.
We're at the game. Shuey's on the line. Best PLL game, best pro game of all time, potentially. And then we see this one. Pehlke does his homework. He comes prepared. So I ask you again, do we think he has a clutch problem?
No. Look at the amount of saves that he made, not only in the PLL semifinal last year, but then also this weekend in overtime. He's one of the goalies besides Blaze Reardon and Dauber. He's probably the first guy you want in those situations, Mitch.
Yes.
So it is crazy, though, the Atlas are 0-5 in overtime in their history. I feel like they're on the losing end of two of the most iconic games in the last 2 years.
Can I say something that I think for a guy that gives NT all his praise, one thing that I'm finding very interesting is that in 2 of those games, it was a 2-pointer that you had to have.
Yes.
And especially the one
That's
like kind of
crazy,
right at the mid. It was just so un-NT-like that you can make these saves to bail out the defense, but that's a save you kind of got to have. Now, if you have one bright spot for the Atlas, in my opinion, it was, I don't know how many times Trevor's not going to face off like that, like it was going in the second half. Weirman had his number. It felt like the Atlas offense that was rolling and getting opportunities in the first half, kind of dismantling that Outlaws defense. They looked unbelievable. Like, I was sitting there during the game and I tweeted, like, I'm thinking about the Atlas as a team that if they win the championship, could we look at them being like, wow, this is the best team of all time. I still will stick by the Atlas. If they're ever going to get this done and they're ever going to get over this hunch that, Mitch, you've been talking about since 2019, all these great teams that they've had. Even if 2019 they weren't the best team, they had the names. This year, they have the names. They have the MVP caliber players. They have an all-time goalie, all-time Fogo, all-time duo at attack, trio, as AP says on Twitter, because Xander Dixon needs his flowers. But it's just unfathomable what happened at the end of that game for the Atlas. But again, that's what happens when you play on the road. For everyone that says that there's no road games in the PLL, that was home field advantage.
You're wrong.
Yeah, that Denver crowd was unbelievable. You see it on TV on
sick.
ABC.
We'll talk to
all the
Piseno.
stands packed.
We'll talk to Piseno a little bit later. I'm excited to hear his thoughts about what it was like, obviously, in person. We heard about the Utah, the boos to O'Neill, and then we're in Denver. It's going to be exciting. Hoagie, your biggest takeaway from this past weekend?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway is the same point I've had the last 2 weeks, that CJ Kirst should have been playing attack since day one in the PLL.
Say it!
Through 2 weeks of CJ Kirst in the lineup, the Waterdogs are 0-3. And the first 2 weeks he was playing midfield, 1 point. Jake Taylor gets hurt this weekend. They move him down to attack. Mitch, you want to know how many points he has at attack? 6 points this weekend.
6?
Playing attack.
6.
He should have been playing attack since day one. Just like Quinn Kestnick said it on the broadcast. He said, it's like drafting your quarterback number 1 overall and then playing him at running back. Like, your best player's got to play at his natural position.
It's one of those situations where it's like me and you know ball, and Doogs and Kev are. We don't know what
I think me and you were the
sometimes.
only 2 guys on the internet. Twitter, not podcast aside, Twitter saying.
It's just Doogs and Kev. Like, we don't even know what they're doing.
You guys could not be more right. I mean, like, who could, like, but when we made this argument 2 weeks ago, I was right. 2 weeks ago, I was right. When CJ Kirst was at attack, couldn't beat his pole, couldn't put anything past the goaltender, I was right. 2 weeks ago, I was right. Now, I'm not saying, like, if you can work this trio, the biggest winners this weekend, in my opinion, are the Waterdogs. I think they ran into a red-hot goalie in Colin Kirst who had a career-best day. You unlocked CJ Kirst. This is great news for the Waterdogs. Sauer still had 4. Like, you have your MVP player. You have your rookie, who number 1 pick, getting 6 points. McCardle had 2. McCardle had 4 last week. If you could get this trio together and make a run at this, I actually want to say my biggest takeaway was, I think this was the best loss the Waterdogs could have had.
Well,
I think they found something this
weekend. The best loss
the
Waterdogs could have had, they got to play the Atlas this weekend. The Atlas are coming off a loss. If the Whipsnakes win and the Atlas beat the Waterdogs are going to be out of the playoffs, losing 4 straight games. So this whole figured-out situation that you're saying is going to be great for next week could have happened 2 weeks ago, and maybe they would have won against Boston or won the week prior if they had him playing attack since day one.
There was nothing 2 weeks ago that pointed to that CJ Kirst should play attack.
Hoagie, this isn't
all
the
common
victory
sense. Common sense
Hoagie,
had him playing
Hoagie.
attack.
Nah, this isn't the victory lap you think it is. If you asked any of us
6
2 weeks
points,
ago,
he's playing
hey,
attack.
if one of the players gets hurt, if one of their starting attackmen gets hurt, who should play attack? We all would have said CJ Kirst. That's how he scored his first goal,
of course.
filling in for Jake Taylor at attack. His second goal he scored at midfield when Jake Taylor came back into the game. The second half of the game, Jake Taylor played midfield and was basically worthless. So you took one of your best attackmen, you made him basically worthless for the whole second half of the game, and then the last 3 goals, Kirst scored in what I would say garbage time. So yes, you unlocked CJ Kirst. Did you unlock the offense? No. I think it looked just as bad, if not worse.
I mean,
and a lot of that is Colin Kirst playing crazy in net.
Colin Kirst played amazing. He was 66% in this game. Back to standards. He had those couple weeks where I talked about letting up 2-point goals. He was 42%, 37%. He was way below his standard. So he played great, fantastic. Jake Taylor's a great player. He's one of the best finishers in the league. But, I mean, if I'm having Jake Taylor or CJ Kirst at attack, I'm sorry. CJ Kirst is going to play attack for me down there. He's one of your – I don't need to have Jake Taylor down there. I think if you run him out of the box and he doesn't play well, that's fine. We'll get another midfielder to replace him. We don't need Jake Taylor as much as we need CJ Kirst to be a stud in this offense.
Yeah, but I think you're putting 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐋𝐀𝐂𝐑𝐎𝐒 on the crease where he's not as good as Jake Taylor. And then you have CJ Kirst at attack, and then the midfielder filling in for CJ Kirst is Jake Taylor, who's not as good in that position. You realize it's a know your personnel type situation.
But I think it's just like every single year, right? There's so much talent in this league already and so much talent coming into this league. You're going to have problems like this every year where you're bringing in rookies who may be better than guys you currently have, and you just have to make it work. That's kind of just how it is. You knew drafting CJ Kirst, he was going to have to play attack. You knew the same thing when you drafted Jake Taylor, and you had 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐋𝐀𝐂𝐑𝐎e and Michael Sowers on the team already. That's 4 attackmen. Only 3 attackmen can be on the field at one time. So Bill Tierney knew this when he's drafting his guys. One of these guys is going to be the odd man out. One of these guys is going to have to play a different spot on the field. That's what it is. Cool. That's what it is.
From what we were saying all year long was that when you drafted CJ Kirst, you didn't know that he was going to have a broken hand. You didn't know that you were going to go into training camp without him. Like, he won the championship. You didn't have, leading up to All-Star break, he didn't play till what? A week after Chicago?
2 weeks after All-Star break, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just, again, like, going back to it, it's becoming acclimated with the offense. Nothing in the first 2 games. See, like Kevin pointed out to you last week, he couldn't beat his short stick matchups. CJ getting unleashed this weekend, this was always bound to happen. Like, he was always going to have a breakout game. Now, I don't think that this is showing that, like, the last 2 weeks he should have also been playing attack. It's like, no, you're in win-now mode. Now, looking back at it when they're 0-3, yeah. Like,
yeah, but I also don't want to let this CJ Kirst attack situation distract from the disastrous ship that the Waterdogs are on right now. They've lost 3 straight games. I completely agree. Completely collapsed. And you know what? They might make the playoffs even with a loss this weekend because Maryland has to win. If Maryland had beaten California this past weekend, we'd be talking even dire situations because all it would have needed is Atlas win and the Whips are in. Now the Whips also need to win on top of the Atlas beating the Waterdogs. But let's just say there's some way that Philly doesn't get in. They end this thing 0-4, a complete and total collapse. For the amount of talent they've had on this team, for how good of a roster they've had, do we need to start asking questions about Bill Tierney? Do we need to start asking about, does he got to go? Do we got to get a new coach in there? Do we need to blow up how this team is operated? Because let's be real, the 2 years before that under Andy Copeland, they won a championship and they lost by 1 goal in a championship. 2 years under Tierney, they won 2 games last year with the number 1 overall pick, and this year, the whole second half of the season has been an utter collapse.
Well, let's not jump ahead to buy or sell.
Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned
okay, good point, Kev. And then I won't answer that. I won't buy or sell it. I'll hold. Can I hold?
Yeah,
we'll hold till later on.
Until the segment. We'll hold until the segment. But Doogs, let's stick with you. Biggest takeaway from this past weekend?
Yeah, like I kind of alluded to already, I do think that this might have been the best thing for the Waterdogs is kind of getting this trio, their legs under them. Even if it was like the garbage time goals, Kev, that you're pointing to, I just think even CJ getting this confidence is a good thing. Anytime you get one in the back of the net, you start seeing it go more and more and more. You're gonna gain confidence naturally. Now, like I said earlier, for me, I don't really have any big takeaways from the Cannons. The Cannons have always been the Cannons. If I had one, Matt Campbell, midfielder of the year. We talked about it at Champ Series, which is a very natural fit for this show, where we started all the way in the beginning of this calendar year to now. Matt Campbell, field or sixes, best midfielder in the world at this point, I think. And we kind of alluded to that then, Mitch, right? That he could take over as the best midfielder. But yeah, I think my overall for the weekend is this is the most successful PLL season of all time. I just think that when you look at it from the way that the schedule has been marked up, right after Baltimore, when the Burners were a little bit out, being like, oh, you can't even get Baltimore to sell out. It's just been sellout after sellout, banger after banger.
Yep.
You got we were so blessed in Fairfield with the Cannons Outlaws game. This weekend with the Outlaws Atlas game, it's just been an absolute treat to be a pro lacrosse fan, and you can just really feel it. I think online and overall,
you can feel it. It's one of those things too. We've heard from people in the league. You're the whistle or you're not. And at the end of the day, we'll be looking back. What is this, year 6, 7 of this league? Yep. We'll be looking back in 10 years at year 17. We're gonna be like, wow, man. Remember when we just were in Chicago and We had street lacrosse. We had lacrosse on a boat. Like now we're selling out the link. Like, come on.
The Cannons also.
Like
the Cannons also. Coulter Mackesy was awesome this weekend as well. He's been shuffling in and out of the lineup.
Oh, and where was he playing, Hoagie?
I mean, that's all right. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, Kev.
Point the thumb.
I'll give you that. I'll point the thumb. I'll give Kev. He's playing midfield. That Will Manny down at attack, but Will Manny played great also. But Coulter Mackesy's got to be on the field.
You got me wrapped up again. Because then this is another point they get really mad at online. This is not Hoagie. You have not said this, so I'm not talking like doing a sub.
You're just saying in general, yeah.
No, in general. But people will be like, "Well, look at Pat Cavanaugh last year." It's like, first off, CJ Kirst is probably closer to like a Jared Bernhardt athletically and skill set wise than I think like a Pat Cavanaugh.
100%.
And everyone would if Jared Bernhardt was struggling for a second, people would be like, "Well, you got to play him in his natural position at attack." It's like he's still doing fine. Like the image that the Waterdogs had was like, all right, look at Jared Bernhardt. The blueprint's there. You have a Tawarton winner, one of the best players of all time, coming out of the midfield box, and he's having success, having a matchup nightmare. Like you can have a duo of those two. Like the blueprint was kind of there for them. So I don't think you can immediately look at Pat Cavanaugh and be like, well, that's the only way you could do it. It's like Jared Bernhardt's literally doing it this year in similar circumstances to CJ Kirst. So that's my little rant. Another takeaway that I have, Mitch, if I'm allowed to, is we're talking about the Waterdogs. And look, I'm an odds guy. I think that the people that have money on this stuff, that are taking money and taking wagers on this, they know something. They know something. The favorite to win it all, Atlas, plus 195. Outlaws, plus 200. The Carolina Chaos, shout out to Blaze.
Wow.
Shout out to the defense, plus 750. Fourth best odds, Philadelphia Waterdogs, plus 900.
Wow.
I believe that too because they have so much talent that they should be in that conversation. I just think it's more like what's been going on in that locker room over the last 3 weeks that's kind of had this go a little bit downward. I don't think it's just CJ inserting into the lineup whether you want to play him in attack or midi. It's just baffling.
But also what I was also saying last week about Sowers taking kind of like the back seat to get CJ more comfortable, I think that rings true. But also seeing them both kind of it probably was a couple of garbage times. Like I was at a wedding this weekend, so I only really watched like the first half. So I don't know how much of it really came from garbage time. But if you're getting this duo unlocked and you're getting them going right into playoffs, Hoagie, we talk about it in college lacrosse, right? Win 2 games and what? Win 2 games and you're in the Final Four. Everyone talks about how successful your season is. If the Waterdogs lose this weekend and make the playoffs, but they just win, 2 games?
To get to the championship doesn't matter. I agree, 100%, Dukes.
And we're talking about how,
I agree with you 100%. I think we'll talk later on buy or sell, but the Waterdogs have the team that can win it all. They can make the playoffs at 4-6 and win the championship if they put it together. 100%. Right. I will 100% think that is a possibility. It's more if they don't make the playoffs, you have to ask the question why, but we'll debate that more later on.
I have a theory. I want to comment on Doogs' original takeaway. I know his takeaway of the week was 3 takeaways there, but his first one was
5.
Best PLL season. You know what I think has been helping me a lot is I think we're really settling into like the Eastern and Western Conference like format and the playoff format. It hasn't changed, and like the geolocations last year were a little like here they are and here's your team. Like now I feel like the teams like the Outlaws feel like the Denver Outlaws. I know they're an easier team to feel that way, but Waterdogs feel like the Philly Waterdogs, and like you're starting to see the real true like Eastern and Western Conference rivalries play themselves out now that there's a couple of years of history. And that's an exciting thing for like next year and the year after, because I think before you had a lot of guys who cared a lot about the best players in the league. And finally now we're getting more like people are caring about the teams and like the rooting interest.
That's an interesting point, and this is just an overall thought that I had. I have nowhere else to say this right now, so I'm going to say it here. I saw Chad Palumbo, great follow on Twitter. He's
awesome.
Kind of getting into his own. Just go give him a follow.
Yeah, great dude.
Plays at Princeton. Yeah, great dude. Doing his own podcasting stuff. No rivalries over here. But anyways, he was saying that the 3 best fan bases are Utah, Denver, and I think he said Boston. And I would like to say that an interesting one, I think what I've noticed when I tour around is Philadelphia. I'm not so sure about the home crowd they kind of deliver because I haven't been the last 2 years. But nationally, I think the Philadelphia Waterdogs might be the most popular team in the PLL.
I agree with that. I think you go to any PLL weekend, you see a ton of Waterdogs merch all the time.
They're the only team account, I believe, on Instagram with over 100,000 followers. I believe they're the most followed account.
Shout out
their
former
little-
employer.
Yeah, I was gonna say. yeah.
They have
that
more
the
than
Barstool
Fairfield. Are you
effect?
sure
Is
they
that
have
the
more than the
Barstool
Fairfield
effect?
Frogs?
We're not counting.
Fairfield
the
Frogs
you
will have
gotta
over
make it-
100K, Mitch. We'll get
Mitch,
that.
you got to
going.
make the Fairfield Frogs account before Kai the goalie makes it, and he's going to make you pay like $10,000 for that thing.
I love it. Cap, let's end up with you. Biggest takeaway from this weekend.
Dog, Doogs just named the odds,
Yes.
but the Chaos are the team no one wants to face in the playoffs. They're hot, 4-1 in their past 5 games, 2-0 versus the Outlaws, who are the number 1 team in the league, top of their conference. They got to feel good about that. Like, hey, if we see them again, we've already beat them twice. And they've actually beat every team currently in the playoff picture except the Atlas. They lost 10-8 in the first game of the season, which is pretty close. They play the Archers in the regular season finale. The Archers are dead last in the league right now. Tom Schreiber put on injured reserve, unfortunately for them. But that's looking like a win. It looks like a perfect, if you got any, get the wrinkles out game before the playoffs. That's who you want to play, to be completely frank.
Yes.
And they're currently slated, if it were to shake out the way things are, they would play the Redwoods in the quarterfinals. Very winnable game, if you ask me. And then the Outlaws in the semifinals, who we just mentioned they're 2-0 against. Like, I'm looking at the Chaos's path, and I'm like, it's unfolding right in front of them. And they're playing some of the best ball right now. Xander Dixon last week mentioned the key to good offense is ball movement. I think the Chaos are the best ball movement team in the league right now. And they got a great goalie in Blaze Reardon.
And the Chaos would be in the Champ
agree.
Series, too, with a win this weekend, which would be awesome. AP gets his wish to see those Chaos uniforms in D.C. there,
at
so
Dukes.
that would be awesome. But the only
There's one
pushback
thing wrong with what Kev said.
the only thing
This team.
the only pushback I'd have on the Chaos is, like, I feel like one of their MO this year has been, like, no one thinks we have any chance, keep doubting us, blah, blah, blah. Like, we'll sneak up on you and we'll beat you. Now I feel like no one's going to sleep on them anymore. Like, they've kind of arrived in a way. They're second in the West. If they win, they'll be second in the West. Like, I don't think they're going to sneak up on anyone anymore. Like, they make that PLL semifinal. Like, Denver has been, maybe them or the Atlas, we'll say Denver, the best team wire to wire after week 2 in the PLL. Like, Denver knows they're 0-2 against the Chaos. Denver knows what's on the line. Like, I don't think they're going to sleepwalk through that game and be like, oh, this is an easy game. We got the Chaos in the semis. We'll be in the championship. Who are we going to play? That's the only thing I'll say about the Chaos. They've kind of arrived now. They're not going to creep up on you anymore like they had.
You're
earlier
right, but I
before.
still don't know if people have a formula for them. Like, not
Yeah,
that
they're
any
so
PLL
stingy.
team
They're
has a
they're
formula.
tough to scout.
Like,
They're tough to play.
yeah, but I mean, you look at like, okay, we're playing the Cannons. Like, okay, where's the head of the snake? Like, Asher Nolting. Oh, the Waterdogs. Michael Sowers. Like, who are you, like, keying your defensive game plan around if you're playing the Chaos? Owen Hiltz? That's crazy because he's playing a different position
Yeah.
every other quarter. Like, I love what
No,
the
it's
Chaos
true.
are
And
doing.
Blaze Reardon's like a volcano. You don't know when he's going to explode and have 30 saves in a game, so you never know what he's going to do. He's going to show up and have his 15 to 20 regardless, and then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's going to have a 30-piece, and you're like, season's over. But
Yep.
to me, too, the JI has been a big difference maker
Yeah.
at the faceoff X
Justin
for them.
Anasio.
They were very struggling with Rowlett at the beginning of the year in the low 30s. It wasn't working. JI's come in. He's been over 50% in every
When?
single game he's played this year. So
When did he come in?
Midseason, best midseason pickup of all time. For all the midseason pickups that have been on the
Yeah.
roster since April, he's been by far the best.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And Blaze didn't look great that whole
Excuse
game.
me, yeah. He's been on the roster for a
Excuse
while, but he hasn't played on the 19 till week 4, so
Yeah, we're
I'll
just-
take
we're
it.
just
Not a
making sure.
midseason
Homework.
pickup. I spoke wrong on that.
I've been
but
Homework.
Hoagie,
It's all right.
Point the thumb.
It's all right.
But now let's see how much
It's fine.
homework.
He didn't play
let's
till
see how-
midseason, though, but
Let's
yeah.
see how much homework Dukes has been doing. We're going to roll into Dukes. Who should the MVP should have been?
All right, this was probably the toughest week for me to do, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
I so much happened throughout the Outlaws Atlas game where I was at halftime. I was like, I know who my number one is, and the number one I think with the loss can no longer be number one, and that was Entenmann. So I'm going to start off with that.
Wow.
It was a runaway, too. Like I was like locked up. Nobody else is even close. So let me start with him. Number 5, Entenmann.
Ooh.
You know what?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Are you all right? Yeah. Wait,
No.
Start
Blaze
over.
Reardon.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Blaze.
No, I'm
Okay.
kidding. It's Liam Entenmann.
Ah.
Okay.
Theatrics. I'm so in between
Doogs
them
loves
two.
doing this. He just goes back.
What? I'm a showman, Hoagie.
Give us
I know you
five.
are.
You don't
I respect
it.
podcast.
One.
You
I
don't
respect
podcast for 5 years. Keep the show
I
going
respect
on.
it, Doogs.
Hey,
Number
what kind of
2.
shows? ChatGPT.
Oh, Mitch, I paved the way for you, brother. Number 2, Pack Have. Number 4,
Cap.
Brennan O'Neill. Number 3, Michael Sowers. Number 1, it's still Connor Schellenberger. It's still Connor Schellenberger when it's all said and done. Now,
Yeah.
Brennan, I was in between moving up and switching with Pat. It really comes down to I will not let recency bias get in the way, and I actually do not think that either of them will end up winning it because of the week off this weekend in Boston. Yeah, Pat's 2. Pat is 2.
I don't think Shelly can be number 1. I'm sorry.
Who's number 1 for you?
Good question.
Shelly's going to win this award if he plays well this weekend and they make the championship game.
So I think Sowers is live. I think if
I
he gets
think
4 plus,
If
he
the
wins.
Dogs miss the
I-
playoffs, Sowers has no chance.
Right.
My answer right now would be Brennan O'Neill. I think he's just been awesome, especially down the stretch. We mentioned post All-Star break, he's been awesome. He leads the league in scoring points this year, so he puts the ball in the back of the net. I appreciate that and respect that. But no, Shelly can't do it. He can't be MVP for me because he doesn't shoot the ball enough. Last week, Xander Dixon was on. I know I just said it, but he was like complimenting Shelly for shooting 45%. He shot the ball 75% in the loss to the Outlaws, and he had the goal to send them to the overtime, which is great. But if you have an MVP on your team, he shot 75% on 4 shots, 3 goals, 4 shots. Why is he not taking more shots? He's only taken 40 shots the entire year. He's shooting 50%. Like, to me, that's more of a red flag than it is a selling point on Connor Schellenberger's game. Pat Cavanaugh has, I think, 90 shots. Pat Cavanaugh went 0 for 11 in the Denver versus New York game. And I don't mean that as a slight. I mean that as a shoot-or-shoot type situation. That's an MVP mindset. And it's hard to reward a guy for going 0-11 versus a guy who went 3 for 4. But to me, I just don't think Schellenberger takes control of the game enough. I know he did in clutch, but I don't know how you give it the MVP to a guy who's only shot the ball 40 times this year. An attackman.
I just do not. I cannot sit here and be like, from the point, like the point production that he's had every single game this year, and just be like, he's not even in the MVP. What did he even finish with on Saturday? 4 or 5?
He had 4 points, I
The
think.
game-tying
See,
goal with 11
I-
seconds left to send it
hear
to
what you're
OT
s-
as well. That was a great play.
I know, that was a clutch moment.
And I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying because you've been kind of on his I'm gonna press you a little bit, Kev. You've been on
Go
his
ahead.
ass for not being like assertive enough in this Atlas offense. Which
Yes.
I think he's been the most consistent, best player, and like Xander pointed to last weekend, this team is so unselfish to the point that like you don't look for a shot that you could have. They're always looking for the next best shot. And what Connor Schellenberger is elite at, even more than shooting, is his passing ability. And he what is he, second or third in assists this year?
Yes, he's up there, and he's number
So
1
he's-
in points. But
he's top 5 in he's top 5 in shots, or he's top 5 in scoring with goals, scoring points, and he's top 2, 3 in assists.
and I'm saying there's a lot that's left on the field, is all I'm saying. He's a guy who lets the game come to him. I know he made the clutch play at the end of the Outlaws game in regulation. That was great. But maybe it's not a Schellenberger thing then. Maybe it's a Coach Pressler thing. But how do you have a guy who's the MVP of the league shooting 50% on the season and he's not shooting the ball more? He should be shooting the ball.
Kev, so
way
who's your
more.
one right now? Who's your front runner right now?
Brennan O'Neill would be.
You got
my number
Brennan?
one. But it has been Liam Entenmann. It was Liam Entenmann all the way until this past weekend.
Yeah.
So Brennan,
I think it's going to be tough for the Outlaws guys, I think, because like Duke said, they're not playing for 30 days. So one of them's going to have a big game in the semifinals. Like some of these guys are going to get 1, maybe 2 cracks before we even see the Outlaws again. Like Sowers, I think I agree with Doogs. Like, I've been all year, up until the last couple weeks, I've said Sauer's the MVP of this league. He was the MVP to me. And obviously through this losing skid, it's dropped a little bit. But Sauers, to me, is the most to gain moving forward. He has a big game this weekend. The Dogs get in the playoffs. They get hot and win that quarterfinal game and head to play New York in the semis. He puts himself, they win that game, he's probably holding up that trophy based on how he's here. Well, there's a chance we see Sauers 3 times before we see Pat Cav and Brennan again, which is crazy. So I think Sauers has the best opportunity if he plays well, and they can get a little hot here if you're the Waterdogs. But, yeah, I think Pat Cav and Brennan, to me, I know Brennan's been amazing, but to me, it's got to be Pat Cav. I think if you're going to pick an outlaw to be the MVP, I feel like for me it's got to be Pat Cav, just based on his season as a whole.
Let's do a little thought experiment right now. Let's pretend that there is an expansion draft, a new PLL team.
Well, obviously
formed.
you're going to take Brennan if there's an expansion draft.
Oh, now it's obvious.
But that's just as a prospect, as a player, long term. You can't compare that to long.
Do that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Kev, hold on, Hoagie. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's like me saying last year, who's the MVP of the NFL? You could be like, probably Jalen Hurts, maybe Saquon, I don't know, someone on the Eagles, and then you're like, all right, we're doing an expansion draft. Would you rather have Patrick Mahomes or Saquon Barkley?
That's so different.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
Why? That's
you take
literally
Drake May.
value.
Because then you're
That's
just talking about
literally
the prospect as a player, not the overall season.
We're literally arguing the most valuable player. Who is the
But
player?
Kev, that's not how it works. It's not the best player every year.
You're
The
smarter
MVP in the
than that.
NFL
You're
doesn't go
smarter
to the
than
best
that.
player every year.
You work in social media, dog. You know how it goes.
Yeah, Kev, you know exactly what
Kev, come on, Kev.
Kev.
Nope.
Kev.
Nope.
Kev.
That's crazy.
Kev.
It's crazy that you guys are like, well, then how do you define value? How are you defining value?
If you're asking me to draft who the best players were this year, I take Pat Cav, 2025 version, over Brennan O'Neill this season. Yeah. Brennan O'Neill's been great for the last 5 games. Take me the guy that's been showing up for the last 10.
You think he's more valuable?
100 to the Outlaws offense? Yes. I do think that Pat Cavanaugh is more valuable to the Outlaws offense.
I agree. I think he's the guy that
Kev,
stirs
what do
the
you
drink. If you're asking me offensively, I think you take Pat Cavanaugh out of that offense.
Kev.
This team looks completely different than if you took Brennan out.
I think
Kev?
that if they had an expansion draft and Tim Sudan had to protect 3 players, it would be Brennan O'Neill, Logan McNaney, and Jared Bernhardt.
That's kind of a different point, but I like that.
But I think that's a different way of talking of expansion team. What player do I want
value.
versus
It's
who's
pure
the most
value.
value this year?
It's value.
If I'm looking down the line, Pat.
Yeah, exactly.
Brennan O'Neill's a LeBron James. He's a generational talent. Obviously, that's going to be the guy that you're going to draft first overall to have for the next decade. But if I'm looking at what guy has been the most impactful guy on this Outlaws team, the best player on this Outlaws team from the beginning of the season on, it's been Pat Cavanaugh. He's been the MVP of this Denver team.
Kev, you think the same thing with the Waterdogs. You know about Kieran McCardle and what he's been to this Waterdogs offense this entire year, but now you're the CJ Kirst thing. So now I'm getting mixed signals. Now I'm like, am I on Hoagie side? Now I'm sitting in here like monkey in the middle. I don't know whose side to be on.
Okay, another thought experiment. Let's say it's overtime versus the Atlas, and you need a goal, and you have a restart off the end line. Who's getting the ball?
Right now, at this point of the season,
I think it's
Kev,
Jared
Let's just
Bernhardt.
pretend it.
I think Jared Bernhardt's getting the
it's
ball.
Jared Bernhardt
right now,
gets it
Jared
every
Bernhardt's
time.
picking that ball at the end line and getting the restart.
Because there's only one Jared Bernhardt. There's only one. There's only one.
I think there's
Brennan
also
O'Neill.
only one Pat Cavanaugh.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're starting to sound like Quint on the broadcast. The way that Quint talks on the broadcast, I might go pop that motherfucker myself.
I'm not
He's
trying to go
I'm so sick of him acting like, oh my God, Jared Bernhardt and Brennan O'Neill. And, oh, Pat Cav's so cute. Like, Pat Cav has been the catalyst all year for
He
this Outlaws
stirs the
offense.
drink. I'm right there with you,
and
dude.
I don't think that also, this also goes to back, you know what? I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of the interview that we had with Jake Piseno. Jake Piseno talked about it in our interview. I was like, there's no egos on this team. So now we're going to fault Pat Cavanaugh, who's like, well, you know what? I have skills that I'm better at than Jared Bernhardt. I have skills that and it might be getting to the rack, but Jared Bernhardt's a better athlete. He could beat his guy more easily. That's also not a knock on Brennan O'Neill, because Jared Bernhardt's going to get the ball at the end of the game. That's not a knock on Logan Wisnauskas. Is it a knock on Logan McNaney because he plays goalie that he can't get the ball at the end of the game?
I don't know. Maybe
I'm
most
fired up,
valuable.
Kev.
Who has the most ground balls? Luke Weirman's crushing it in ground balls for their team. Maybe he's the most valuable.
Pat Cavanaugh is the most valuable player on this Outlaws team for me in this current season.
He
That's just how I
touches the
feel.
ball the most.
He does touch the
Which
ball
I
the
think
most.
tells you, and I think that tells you a lot about what Sudan thinks.
I mean, to me,
About
when
who
I
has
watched, Pat Cavanaugh always has the ball in his stick. The offense is funneling through him. He's the quarterback of that team.
Yes. He's not the most valuable player, though.
You're right.
Value.
I think, you're overvaluing the word value.
No, it's literally the key word of the conversation.
Because I'm not going into this year. I think everyone would say, okay, Brennan was the best player on the team. He was pretty insignificant for the first 5 games.
I don't know. At the end of the
He
year,
couldn't
he's
make- he
got the
couldn't make
most
the
scoring
cage.
points in the whole league, dude.
Okay,
He scores the ball. Hardcore. A lot.
Pat Cav does a lot. Can pass the ball, score the ball, calls the turnovers. Ride. He can.
I know nothing about that.
Sorry, you can cut that. I meant it more to the. I was trying to come up with a.
I mean, Pat Cavanaugh, this season, he's 3rd in points, 3rd in goals, 5th in assists, and 1st in touches. MVP
Okay,
of that
now
Outlaws
let's do
offense.
all of it, and let's do all of those stats over touch.
Per touch.
Yeah.
Mitch knows nothing about per touch.
No.
Yeah, no, we can't be sorry. We can't do
Per
a math
touch. So
segment.
keep going.
I'm just saying that he has the most touches in the league. And yes, that's a mark of value as well. I'm just saying, obviously your stats are going to be high if you're getting the ball.
But I don't even think Pat Cavanaugh, I don't even look at it for stats purposes. If you just watch the Outlaws game, I feel like he brings the most value in terms of funneling that offense. He runs that offense. He's always
totally
sprinting to get the
agree.
ball. What, Dukes?
I totally agree.
If you watch them play, the offense and the whole team is dictated on Pat Cavanaugh being the leader, being the QB1, and taking initiative on offense. You watch the game.
Okay, how about watching the defense? How often does he draw the number 1 pole?
But that you
Hey,
can't
he
just-
got it this weekend.
Yeah, and it can't always just be the number 1 poll. You have Brennan O'Neill. You have 4 Tewaaraton winners on the team, besides Wisnowskis, who's obviously, no offense, never going to get the number 1 poll because that's just not his game. Doesn't
Wait,
give to
time out. I remember last year. Who did Duke play in the quarterfinals?
Maryland.
Okay, who did Ajax guard?
Zawada.
Oh, okay, all right. So Brennan didn't get the number 1 poll in college. So that means.
All right,
means-
all right. I'm digging
He's
my
digging his
grave.
grave. Pat Cavanaugh's the
segment
MVP
right
of the
now.
Outlaws. And to me,
I'm done.
If
I'm
an
done.
Outlaws player Pat Cavanaugh doesn't, an Outlaws player can't win MVP unless it's Pat Cavanaugh, in my opinion.
And
This
I
was
will.
supposed to be about Schellenberger not shooting enough. How did this happen?
And the last thing I want to say, Pat Cavanaugh, this year specifically, I always thought he'd be a really good pro. He's turned my head from how good of a pro he's been, and he has a way faster shot than I think I gave him credit for.
Yeah, I'm not trying to knock him. He's been playing great. He's outstanding for them. I just don't think he's their most valuable player.
I mean, we're talking about 4 Tewaratons being 4 MVPs.
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
all these guys. I said beginning of the year. I was
Each
like,
guy's a
Brennan's gonna
different
win
role.
MVP.
Each guy's a different spot.
I thought my shot called in the beginning of the year was I don't think Brennan's going to win it this year, but I think that it's coming.
Yeah.
Pause. But pause.
What's
I
he
think
got to do?
Yeah, I don't think either of them are going to win it this year, unfortunately. Which I also think the PLL has got to figure out. It's a media thing. It's on us. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, but I think that's in every league, though. You can say.
I'm a fan. I'm not media. Just so we get that clear. I'm a fan.
What are you then?
I'm a fan of the sport of lacrosse. I'm looking to grow the game.
That just dabbles in media.
I don't do media. I talk my talk.
There's only 2 media members on this
Yeah,
podcast.
I'll never be a media member. I'm a fan that wants the best for the sport.
Fan with a mic.
You want
disagree
you want
100%.
sideline
I
access for
disagree
Marco
100%.
Lombardi.
That was total not sideline access, by the way. Mitch was just like, Hoagie, if he hits this.
silent access.
Well, we
That
had
was
sideline access, but Mitch was like, Hoagie, if he hits this, we're running, you better
I'm
run.
running.
You better run behind me. And I was like, he hit it. We just ripped
Well,
it.
for all the fans out there, and I think it gets announced MVP the day before the championship. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll
So
be
we're
there.
in the
We'll be
lookout.
there.
Well, we will be
We'll
there
be
on
at-
site,
Yep.
We'll be
shaking
there.
whoever's hand,
Yep.
doing interviews, hopping on the
Paul,
Mitch
we
Pehlke
in?
Lacrosse Show.
Paul
Are
said
we invited to the
We're-
ceremony?
we're-
Are we going to the
Touch Paul
ceremony?
and Mike. We are
I'll
all
be
set.
there.
We're
But
all
let's
set.
keep it going. Let's keep the show going.
Great banter, boys.
Great banter. That's what's healthy banter. Healthy value banter. That's what it's all
Twitter
about.
could learn that.
Buy or sell. Got next. Doogs, I want to start with you. You're hot. You've been killing it this show. I'm excited to go on this Piseno interview with you. We got something special. Maybe we're going to bring up Doogs' terrible takes on Piseno back in the day. Stay tuned to see his reaction. Doogs, are you buying or selling Brennan O'Neill will finish number 1 this season in scoring points? He currently has 26. Number 2 is Dylan Molloy with 23. Number 3 is Chris Kavanaugh with 21. And 4 players are tied at 19.
Hold up. Just got to preface this before I get killed. Pat Kavanaugh also has 21. He's just done playing for the year.
Okay.
And so is Brennan.
It seems to me like we have a narrative that's being controlled. Now I'm getting like an inside look. No, but I'm selling that, man. I think Brennan's had a hell of a year. If he started hitting the cage by week 1, he probably would be the MVP. Kev's not like so far off. Again, I've been very adamant the past couple of weeks about not letting recency bias affect me, but recency bias is going to affect me right now when I say that one of the Redwoods players is going to take over the scoring title. I think with the way they're playing, my boy Dylan Molloy, the bulldozer, with a game on the line, a playoff spot on the line, the boy from Brown playing down the road in Boston. Boston boys stand up.
Ooh, I like that.
Chris Cav coming off the 7-pointer.
7 points. Yeah.
Shit. The 2-point boy from Long Island.
All right, so you're selling. I'm selling too. Dylan Molloy, Boston, Brown. I like those aspects. That's what it's all about. He's got the T-shirt on. Don't forget about maybe it's some new cleats too. I think Dylan Molloy could take it over. Obviously, last weekend in the season, we did the math. Boston obviously plays twice in the same weekend, but the guy leading is Matt Campbell, and I think he's sitting at, I want to say 16, you said, Kev?
17, I think.
17, so he would need, do that math, 8, 9 goals.
You're like, we did the math.
Yeah, we did the
You
math.
do the math.
I can't remember. You do the math. I'm selling it as well. Hoagie, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm selling it too. I'm right with you guys. I think one of those Redwoods guys is going to get that. I think it's going to be Dylan Molloy, just because he's got 2 up on Chris, and Chris is going to have to get, 7 points, which is well in the realm of possibility after last week, dominated. But I find it hard to believe the OG Burns aren't going to get it done and lead the league in scoring points 100%. By the end of this thing.
Kev?
I'm buying it for the sake of my MVP argument I just made. I think he and Dylan Molloy finished tied for number 1 with 26 points. Scoring points.
I kind of like the tie play.
If Dylan Molloy gets a scoring title, I have a question,
like the tie play.
I have a question.
Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. If Dylan Molloy gets a scoring title because you value putting the ball in the net, is he MVP?
Oh God, here we go.
There is why isn't Dylan Molloy in your top 5? Would be my question right now.
Put it back on.
Dylan Molloy.
What's your response, dude?
Yeah, absolutely be in your top 5.
What's your response?
Dylan Molloy has a chance this weekend to go from the honorable mention
to top 3
to 1.
To
if
1.
He has like a 4, if he has a 4 or 5 point,
the overall question is we need to challenge the segment of who MVP should have been.
Yeah,
if a guy that's not even in your top 5 could potentially win it, dude, that's gonna fall 100% on you.
Yeah. Yep.
No, because it comes.
No, I'm with Doogs here, Mitch. It comes in waves. You can go from nowhere to be found to front row in 2 weeks. That's a fact.
You have to have, he has to have an awesome.
You're right. He hasn't been brought up. You're right, Mitch. All right, that's fair.
You're right, but there's been nothing to really talk about with the Redwoods recently. Like,
they're the 0-5 skid before.
Why would I put them on?
Yeah.
We started doing this segment halfway through the year, like when the Redwoods were at their worst.
Yeah,
like if we were doing it early on, he would have got the shout-outs.
He would have been in it. Yeah, 100%. All right, so we're all.
But he should be in it right now.
Can I do a thought? How many points does he have?
23.
Well, that's scoring points.
That's
I
scoring
can look
points.
up very quickly.
So there's assists. I know you didn't have any of those at Ohio State.
Very quickly here. He has 28, which ranks 8th in the PLL.
Yeah, so I think that if he, probably not, but whatever. He's the man. He'll definitely be top 5 if he gets 20.
Do you think he's the Redwoods MVP, or would you give it to Cav?
Oh, I'd say he is for what he does even in the locker room. I really think the most important person to that team, even more so than Cav or Dylan, who are tremendous, I really think it's Andrew McAdory.
Oh, I was going to say T.D. Erlin, too. T.D. Erlin's been unbelievable this year. T.D.
He's field goal of the year. He spoke over here.
TD Lowen's face-off man of the year. I said Nards last week, but TD showed up, balled out this week, won that matchup big time, and he leads the league in face-off percentage. And I feel like he's had an underrated, underappreciated year. I feel like no one's talked about how good he's been.
I think I mentioned TD, and I think I got like mansplained from you in a face-off way that I couldn't even understand. And I was like, all right, I'll just let Hoagie.
It's the lingo, dude. Trust me.
Yeah,
It's their own-
lingo.
it's their own
I was like,
verbiage.
these guys are such weird cats.
Yeah, they're squids.
I think his case is hurt a little bit. He had a couple games I think he didn't finish, or I know the Atlas game was like that.
But he was also
And,
kind of dominating, no?
yeah, no,
Yeah,
he
had
is.
a great.
And he was early
doing
on.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just lost some momentum in the middle of the year, but he's good, and he leads all face-off guys in points too. He's got 5 points on the season.
Dude, TD's the man.
Yeah, he is.
Nice
Wow.
guy. All right, next one.
He's always under the radar too. I feel like no one ever talks about him.
That's such a lie. He was-
Yeah, everyone talks about it.
He's
terms
not
of-
talked about to the level of Baptiste and Nardella,
Yes,
if that's what you mean.
that's what
Yeah.
I mean. Thank you.
But
Kev.
he's in that class.
Yes,
Correct.
of course he's in that class, but he doesn't get the same respect.
I like
Agreed.
that.
That's your fault. You're the face-off guy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I gotta
You're the
give him,
face-off guy,
Stand up.
and you're the media member. Kev, get on his ass.
and Mitch's
yeah,
roommate's
just did.
brother, so I gotta get
Also,
I gotta give him some more
I don't
love.
like how the fact that Dukes is saying he's not a media member. What are you saying? You're tweeting
what
about
about me?
lacrosse. You're on a lacrosse show. You are in the media, brother. I don't know. I don't know how to say it.
In what world does a guy wearing a Dylan Molloy T-shirt count himself as a media member? I'm just
In
having
what
fun
world
talking
does a guy
laughs.
wearing a frog T-shirt
his-
count himself
what-
as a media member?
Dukes,
You're on a
Dukes.
lacrosse show, Richard.
Dukes, what's your credentials say when you're on the? Does it say press?
Guest.
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 Doesn't say press.
Guest. Yep.
What is? I think Hoagies and I say guest too.
Mine says guest.
RJ banned
Not a
me from the
media
staff
member.
lounge.
Staff lounge.
Guest.
Staff lounge. All right, next, buy or sell. Buy or sell, Whips and Archers will miss the playoffs. Let me give you guys some facts here. Whips must beat the Cannons. Archers must beat the Chaos and make up 9 points on the Redwoods. So,
Isn't there another? Hoagie, is there another scenario in there? I forgot to write it in, but I think there is.
I think. Well, I mean, the Whips have to beat the Cannons, but that would only be if the Waterdogs lost. So, like, if the Waterdogs won and the Whips won, the Waterdogs are going to get in. So, like, just beating the Cannons if you're the Whips doesn't get you in, if that makes sense.
Right.
I'm saying
And the
sell.
whole reason this is crazy is because these
Oh,
are the
I'm
two
saying
teams
buy,
that met in
sorry,
the.
buy. They will miss.
They're the two teams that played in the championship last year.
Mitch, didn't you have the Whip Snakes at number 2 in your power rankings like last week?
Yeah.
No, brother, that was a month ago.
No,
Hoagie's trying
no,
to catch everyone.
no,
brother,
no,
it was.
no,
Can't count out the whips.
no. There was either last
kill the
episode
chaos.
or the one before that. You still were like, I'm riding with my Whips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we had a
I
very
said I'd
unofficial.
pick
It was
Yeah,
an
the
unofficial
next
one,
guy.
Kev. You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
He said
yeah,
he can't
on
count out the
spot.
whips.
Yeah, you know,
So-
you're right on that. I
You're
can't
counting
count
out the whips.
I'm selling this. The Whips are getting in the playoffs. Stags has been in his den, grinding away on a game plan.
Den.
PLL Saturday Night Lacrosse, last game of the weekend. Cannons have beaten the Redwoods on Friday night. They're feeling good about themselves. Kind of a sleepwalk doze of a game, kind of like we saw in Fairfield between the Whips and the Waterdogs 3 weeks ago. And Stags, just like he is, going to get into the playoffs. He's going to find a way to beat the Cannons. I'm predicting, too, that the Atlas will beat the Waterdogs. Which
Wait,
would-
but it's a holistic thing. Will the Whips and
Oh,
Archers
all right. Then I'm
miss
buying
the
it.
playoffs?
Then I'm
Buy or
buying it.
sell? Okay. There you
Well,
go.
yeah, because the Archers are not
Dukes?
going to make the playoffs. The Archers are basically impossible. So if you're saying
Not quite impossible.
it should say will the Whips and Archers both miss the playoffs, not I don't know.
Well, we're not
Easy.
doing
Just because you got your
separate
just
by
because you
ourselves.
just because you got your MBA in Manhattan doesn't mean you gotta start flexing language and stuff.
I think the Whips are going to get in. I do.
Cap, what do you think?
I'm
Yeah,
buying
that's
it.
a good lore right there.
Yeah. I'm buying it. I think that they missed the playoffs, both of them. It's weird. I can't believe it. Before the season, these would have been maybe my two biggest locks to make the playoffs. I wouldn't have thought they'd win the whole thing, but I just feel like their floor wasn't that low. So I'm shocked, particularly with the Archers. I think they're definitely out. Whips have a little bit better chance, but
Yeah.
the way they closed out that game against California was just so uninspiring, and I can't I can't say that they're going to win.
I totally agree. But if we know anything about the PLL, it's whatever you think happens never happens. So
Yeah, it's
the
the
Whips are
opposite.
going to win this
Yeah,
thing
I
and
want to see
find
my
themselves
picks.
in.
Yep. Look at his picks. Dukes.
Don't actually.
I have the Whips and the Archers missing the playoffs.
Correct. I think we're all buying this thing. It's tough to say. Maybe if this was a one case or another, like Hoagie said, yeah, maybe Whips, not Archers, but holistically, I think we're all buying. Last buy or sell. This one's interesting now. And I want to start with you, Kevin, because I'm kind of curious to, or sorry, James, your
Start with
answer
Hoagie on this one.
Buy or sell, the Waterdogs must win to save their head coach, Bill Tierney's job.
Well, I'm selling it because they don't have to win. It's more I'm buying this if they miss the playoffs because they could still, if the Whips lose and they lose, they would get in still. So, like, if they make the playoffs and they could go on a run technically, I'm saying if they don't make the playoffs, they have to make the playoffs to save Bill Tierney's job, in my opinion, if that's what we're going to go off of. To me,
So you think if the Waterdogs miss the playoffs, Bill Tierney's getting fired?
I don't know if he's going to get fired. Do I think they should have a change of leadership? Yes. Do I think they should have a new coach in there? Yes, I do. Personally.
So you think if the Waterdogs don't make the playoffs, you think Bill Tierney should be fired?
Yes, I do. I think they need a new coach.
That's crazy.
Why is that crazy?
Heinously
overreaction.
2 years in a row, major collapse. Last year,
Heinously
crazy. Mitch, the talent-wise, they have a top 3 roster in the league when you're talking just talent on players on their
Completely
team.
agree.
Top 3. This is a team that should be competing for a championship game every single year. 2022, PLL champions. 2023, lost by 1 goal to the Utah Archers in the championship game. And Dobson's foot from that Caraway 2-point shot is a hair away from winning another championship. Andy Copeland leaves. Insert Bill Tierney, one of the best coaches of all time, a legend. I love Bill Tierney. What he did at Princeton, what he did at Denver, building lacrosse in the West Coast at Denver. Second to none, unprecedented. But he comes in last year to the Waterdogs. It's a total disaster. They go 2-9 or 2-8, whatever it was. They won 2 games. Total disaster. All right, whatever. Last year, a lot of close losses, fluky losses. I'll give him a break. Comes in this year. They look good, 4-2 to start the season. Nothing out of their mind, but Sowers is MVP favorite. They're playing well. And it's been a total collapse since. You're telling me that you're going to allow them to just lose 4 straight games with the talent they have on this roster and miss the playoffs? And let's be real, the Whipsnakes are not that great of a team. They're not. So if the Whipsnakes get in this thing over the Waterdogs with what's been on the line the last couple weeks, you had the collapse in Fairfield. You start up that game up 5-0, and then you lose that game, score 2 goals the whole rest of the way. To me, the locker room,
All right, I'm sick
you need
of
a change.
talking, Dukes. What do you think?
What was the question?
No, this is crazy. No, Hoagie, you
why is
want
that crazy?
everything way
Kev?
too
Why is
fast.
that crazy?
Way too fast. First
has
of
he
all,
not
this year,
underperformed? Have they not underperformed given the talent on their roster?
the Waterdogs have underperformed, but there's a difference between underperforming and changing your head coach after 2 years. You don't just say, oh, CJ Kirst is ready to go off a broken hand, play attack right now. You work him back into the lineup. You got to be patient. You get time. This is a better year than last year. They're still trending in the right direction overall. Let's wait to see where this season finishes. But I think even if they lose, they look at this as a step forward from last year. They at least had a face-off guy on the roster for the whole year. I still think they have some things to figure out, like maybe don't switch the goalie all of the time. Stick with a guy, figure it out. And then, the fact that they didn't have their number 1 overall pick for half of the year, and now they're trying to work him in, I just think that's way too rash. And now you're bringing in a new guy next year to be like, oh, yeah, here's CJ Kirst, make it all work, and you're starting over again. Yeah, maybe it works, but I don't know. I don't think that Bill Tierney has been that bad that it's like they got to move on from him.
This is all precedent, too. If they make the playoffs, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if they miss the playoffs, that's where I think
One
a change is
game
needed.
for the rest of your life.
But to me, it's like, Doogs can attest to this. Doogs, obviously the Barstool guy, obviously likes the Waterdogs, obviously knows a lot about the Waterdogs. Doogs, you cannot sit there and say, there's levels to this, as we've talked about in the past. If they were the Whipsnakes right now, and they don't have maybe the best players all around the field, fine, I'll give them a pass building for the future. This Waterdogs team has the players to win a championship. They have the talent to win a championship. They have one of the most talented rosters in the entire PLL. And back-to-back years, they've completely underachieved. And if they miss the playoffs this year, And after last year's disaster, I don't see how you can continue moving forward and saying, yeah, it's a step in the right direction that they won 2 more games than last year with a talented roster enough that could win the championship.
I think the Waterdogs situation is unique because I think that they were trying to probably keep like an old culture through the championship runs that they've been on while also having a new coach come in that didn't exactly have his players. I think last year was a weird circumstance. I do want to say that if Andy Copeland was the coach last year and this year, I think they win the championship at least one of these times.
I completely agree.
They
have too much talent not to.
I do also agree with Kev that he shouldn't be fired this year because of CJ Kirst coming in. This was always a real possibility in my mind. I was nervous about this situation since before week 1. I was like, what are you going to do when CJ gets back? What if you have one of the best offenses and everything's working out with Jake Taylor down low, and then all of a sudden you're trying to integrate him into this, and you're making Sowers uncomfortable, and you're adding this other alpha. Like, CJ Kirst is an alpha lacrosse player. He's an alpha male. Like, you're adding another alpha. You're not adding, like, a beta, like a Jonathan Donville. That's so disrespectful, Jonathan Donville.
Crazy.
That was
crazy.
We're definitely keeping that in,
so
too.
disrespectful. I'm sorry, Jonathan. I meant it more just someone that could be, like, an off-ball figure. And I think Jonathan Donville would say the same thing. Like, he's not someone that needs the ball in his stick. Yeah. CJ last week, if they figure something out where he doesn't have to have it in his stick all the time, great. But I wouldn't really penalize Tierney just yet. I do really firmly believe, though, that Andy Copeland was one of the best, if not the best coach in the PLL, and he left at the top of his game, and it is an absolute travesty that the PLL still doesn't have him as a coach anymore, and that he left a lot of championships on the table. The way that he was able to identify talent, to build a locker room, to build chemistry within the players, the Waterdogs had something really special, and not to say that they don't have that anymore, but the 2022 championship identity is not necessarily there anymore within this locker room. There's a new culture there.
Mitch, what's your thoughts on
this?
What's your thoughts on this, Mitch? I'd like to hear your thoughts.
One more part. If anything, they're going to fire assistant coaches before Bill Tierney. That's my case.
And that might just be a saving grace. I don't know. I kind of agree both sides where I don't think Hoagie's right, but obviously the proof in the pudding shows. But at the same time, I think Kev is right with you can't have the turnover be so quick. Then you're not establishing anything. Then you're having guys that have just seen so many head coaches throughout the years, and you're like, what are we getting really done here in the organization? I don't know. I think the next step is potentially the assistant coach route and getting a GM on board to kind of be like, all right, we're going to shift some things here.
Yeah.
So maybe Bill doesn't
GM
have
could be big.
My
only thing about
he's an older guy.
My only thing about the Waterdogs thing, though, is like I agree. I don't like changing coaches and stuff like that when you're trying to build out a roster, but to me, like, the main core team has been the same. So you're kind of running into the way where you've had the same guys on this roster for a couple of years. So I'm asking more, is it a time for a restart and a turnover of philosophy with a new regime rather than, it's not like they're trying to build something from the ground up. Like the Chaos, to me, they kind of are starting from scratch and going to try and build this thing up. Like, to me, like, the Waterdogs team and core of guys is at the pinnacle, kind of like the Archers, where it's like, all right, like Coach Bates and them, like, you've given it a couple runs with the same squad. Same with the Cannons, where, like, the Cannons' next move is if stuff went south or the Archers, you would restart and try and build new. The Waterdogs are kind of in that category to me more so than, like, trying to build something, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, you got to give the guy a full season and training camp with the guy he drafted number 1 overall.
That's fair.
I'll give that.
I don't think he's going to be fired. I'm just saying I don't think he will be, even if they miss the playoffs. I think he'll be back. I'm just saying sometimes a change of blood, a new way in that locker room, it goes a long way.
I'll stick up for Hoagie, too, for a second and say that Bill Tierney if he does miss the playoffs, Kev, would you agree that he does deserve questions? That doesn't necessarily mean you have to change your opinion.
He should be on the I think probably already is. Is he on the hottest seat? Hot seat expert.
But he would be on very hot seat next year.
He'd be on the hottest seat.
He's on the Dukes hot seat. I mean, like.
All right, cool.
I'll tell you what, though. This whole thing gets avoided if they can beat the Atlas this weekend. We're all good. He's in the playoffs. Anything can happen. They go on a run. Never know.
Let's
ChatGPT just went in the middle of that, and I couldn't really hear it.
I don't know what you said. The last when the MVP is already over, Dukes, and we have one more episode, I think we should do a hot seat rankings. Dukes hot seat
Right.
rankings.
Okay. Yeah, I like
That'd be a
that.
good one going into the offseason.
I like that.
Yeah. Nat St. Laurent had a job for a while, like kind of just doing what he did this year. Like that's not a shot either at Nat. It's like I think it does take, especially with the league, unless because the league's like there's like a whole committee that could probably I think this is it. It's like a competition committee, from what I understand in like an article. Also, someone could just chime in and be like, "You're so wrong," but I'm pretty sure like it would be pretty hard to get fired after 2 years, especially when you've shown improvement year over year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see.
I think
Time
it's a
will
pretty
tell.
popular,
Time will
popular
tell.
last name
It's-
among that competition community.
Yeah. And a lot of
Are you
people
talking? Are
chat.
you referring to his brother or nephew, Seth Tierney?
I'm not referring to
Are you talking about the head of competition, Seth?
I'm
Coach
saying
at
that's what-
Coach at
is
Hofstra,
that-
just a couple miles that way.
Is that who's going to have to fire him if we're saying he's on the hot seat? I'm just saying.
No, yeah, I mean, again, this is where probably like a lot of
crazy.
like the haters of like the league, and like I think that like this is probably something where the argument comes in, where like owners or GM, like I'd love
Yes.
to see him.
I
Just
mean,
give up a
honestly,
little
I
bit of
can't
power.
even think about like Bill Tierney. I think he's in his 70s. The guy's been doing it at the highest level for so long. Imagine him being in a GM role. That sounds miserable for a guy that just wants to coach ball.
Yeah.
I don't know who's doing that right now. Like, I
sounds
think
awesome.
that could be a lot of it.
I would love. I mean, if I could have one
Dude, can you
job
think
in
about this?
lacrosse, dude,
CJ
Mitch,
Kirst
I would
at
cut
20
your ass so fast.
You're sick. Can we think about this? CJ Kirst at 22 is negotiating his contract with his head coach that is in his 70s. Like, that sounds miserable.
22.
That
He
doesn't
was
sound-
like 22 like 3 years ago.
Dude, what would Meyer
yeah.
say to you? You're like, hey, coach, I just got
Hey,
Louis
coach.
Vuitton. They just hit me up with NIL. You know, I'm thinking about actually going over to Maryland now with this NIL deal. Like, what would Meyer say to you? What would the rebuttal be? I got this cool opportunity.
He put a package together.
Oh yeah.
He put a package together. Yes, he
Oh,
would.
he go. All right, Rich.
All right,
Yeah.
let me hit the frog for you a couple
All
times.
right, I
You got-
get 10% of the frog merch.
Gotta get Bill Tierney to hit the frog before he's fired.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
You got to get him to hit the frog, man.
Would you think?
Mitch, if they don't make the
Can I
playoffs,
ask-
you're screwed, by the way, because you got to get them
I'll
on site to hit
FaceTime.
one.
It's gonna happen.
Let's
You'll
just
get
do
him
a
on
quick
FaceTime.
circle. Quick one answer circle, because I'm curious of all you guys. If you could be a GM or a coach in the PLL, what would it be?
GM.
Coach.
GM.
Oh, dude, I'd put together the best roster ever. Like my Madden mode in PLL, like 2000.
Y'all are liars. All of you said GM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Y'all,
Dude, I think
we
I'd be a
all love the
phenomenal
spotlight
GM.
too much.
I would hire you, Kev.
I
Be
love
my
being
head
in the
coach.
shadows, grinding.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you like being in the background.
Kev's the new head coach. I'll be the GM. Kev, you're the head coach of Beans.
You'd be a
Let's
Spallina
run this
style. You'd be a Joe Spallina
Heads,
style
the
GM.
inaugural head coach of Fairfield Frogs. Hoagie and I are GMs.
What would
Yep.
be
And
your?
Doogs
what-
is water boy. All right, on to next week's games in Boston. The last weekend of the 2025 PLL season, regular season.
Wow. Can you
Cannon's
believe it?
homecoming. And let's not forget,
Who saw this
something
coming?
special. PLL Network is doing a little Boston Cannons marathon this week. If you have a TV, you probably have PLL Network. Search it up. Pack games, highlights. Check it out all week long. Friday, we have Cannons versus the Redwoods at 6:30 on ESPN+. Tune in or you're a squid. Later that night, we have Chaos versus Archers on ESPN2, 9 p.m. The next day, Saturday, more action. Atlas versus Waterdogs on ABC at 1 p.m. Kev, you want to talk about this one real quick?
Atlas versus Waterdogs? That looks like
Yes.
the game of the week. ABC,
Game
1
of the
p.m.
week.
I'll be there. I'm super stoked about it.
Oh, you'll be there on site?
No, I won't be on site for that one.
Okay, yeah. Don't say that then. All right, the last game we have Whip 6 versus Cannons, 7 p.m. ESPN+. You know what we say? PLL Saturday Night Lacrosse. Packed weekend, last regular season weekend. Hoagie, quick takeaway for this Boston weekend before we hop into the interview with
Yeah,
Jake
tons
Piseno.
of great games, tons of big things on the line. The Cannons, obviously their homecoming weekend, they're going to honor their legendary history going back to the MLL days. I think their 25th anniversary, so they're going to have a ton of amazing alums there, which I can't wait to see. Crazy word at the last weekend of the PLL season, but when I look at it, Cannons, Redwoods Friday, great matchup. Redwoods 2 straight. Cannons just got a big bounce back win last weekend against the Waterdogs. They're going to look to keep that going at home. Friday night, we want to talk about a game that could be an upset. Watch. I'm not picking the game yet, but the Archers, this seems like a sneaky game where the Archers could somehow get a win against the Chaos. I do expect the Chaos to come out ready to go, though, because they're champ series spots on the line with a win. But I know there's a lot of smoke about the Archers, but you never know. These are the games those guys pull out. Saturday, I think Atlas Waterdogs.
Pick blind.
I think Outlaws Waterdogs is going to be one of the best games of the weekend. The Waterdogs know what's on the line. And normally I'd say the Atlas would sleepwalk into this game if they had won last week. But now the Atlas, they want to avoid going 0-2 heading into the postseason. They still need to lock up the number 1 seed, so they're going to be ready to play. And then Saturday night, we know what happens. That's the witching hour. The ghosts are out. Whipsnakes, Cannons. Everyone's going to be on the Cannons, 95%. Cannons fans are going to all be in there. And this is just a game where Stags comes in and gets the win to seal his team. They'll know beforehand if a playoff spot's on the line. If the Atlas win that game right before them, they're going to know winning in. Come on, Whipsnakes, watch this one. Sneaky one. Amazing weekend. I can't wait.
You riding the Lightning, Hoagie?
I'm riding the Lightning, Warren Zider style. PLL Saturday Night Lacrosse. Get that tune going, baby. Come on now. Let's go.
Woo! And now
Ride
it's
the
time for the
Lightning.
interview with Jake Piseno. And now we welcome Jake Piseno to the Mitchell Pehlke Lacrosse Show. Clap him in, Piseno. First time. Have we been a long-time viewer? I know. I feel like you're chronically online. But maybe not posted too much.
I'm all over media, man, but I do tune in to the good stuff all the time.
Okay, I like that. Have you seen some potential heinous clips of this show, maybe last year or even this year?
Oh, all of it's heinous. All of it's heinous. But it's all comedy. I love it.
It's all comedy. You love it. But, I think we're going to go straight into the fire. We got a video to show you, and I want to get your live reactions on some things we've maybe potentially talked about in the past.
Let's see it.
I think Jake Piseno. Can I just vent about him really quick?
Yeah.
I think the people that were like, he should go top 5, you're just watching Instagram highlights.
Yeah.
He's a very, very good transition player, which will be elite in the PLL. He's very good in the field. He's very good off-ball intercepting passes. When you're talking about covering a guy out, like coming out of the box, bro, you're not going to be able to throw over-the-head checks. And when someone relies on that too much, especially at the pro level, like I didn't think you could do that at the American East. Don't think that really is going to translate to the pro level.
Yeah.
As a cover guy, I'm not the biggest fan, but he will be in the league for a very long time.
That's just initial thoughts.
That wasn't even bad. I think he's going to be in the
that
league
bad,
for a long time.
That wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad.
That wasn't. And I also went up to Jake, like, literally at the All-Star game, and I was like, yo, dude, I've said some pretty heinous things about you, but, like, this is your second All-Star game in a row. I have nothing to say. Like, congrats to you. You're just, like, doing it at top level.
That is true.
Almost immediately when I saw him. Like, I was like, what am I going to say now? I was like, it's your back-to-back All-Star appearance in year 2.
Jake, did you see that?
Now.
Like, did you see that? Like, right when it came out or anything around that? There was so much media going on around draft time. Did you take a peek at that at all?
No, yeah, I definitely was on the media train a lot going into that draft, just like seeing what people say and stuff. And there was obviously that half of the group that was like, this guy should be a top 5 pick, top 3 pick, and then there was the other half of the group that was like, this guy plays at Albany. You know, he has all these stats and all this stuff, but he's not a Maryland or Virginia boy. And, you know, I think sometimes you just got to put Albany on the map and America East on the map, man. We got some ballers in the conference.
I like that. I love those.
There's a couple people on this podcast I'd just like to say that, like, will not say when they're wrong. I would like to put my hand up and say I was wrong.
I love the hand up.
Yeah, the hand up accountability's big.
Thumb to chest, Mitch, as you say. Thumb to chest.
Thumb to chest, point to thumb, not the finger. I like that. But I think the best tagline in that whole video is, you're not going to be able to throw over the head checks in the league. Like, and that's like your thing. That's your thing. And I think the thing that honestly put me onto you was the game against Shelley. I think the over the head check you had there, and I think that really kind of made your name mainstream. Going into that matchup, flash us back to that Albany versus Virginia game. What was the mindset going into that, knowing you're the number 1 poll, guarding the number 1 offensive player on Virginia, Connor Schellenberger? How did you focus for a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the games that you live for right there. When you can go into those games, like, nothing to lose, like, you know, all the media is talking about, like I said, like, when you're a Big Ten ACC school, like, that's who the media follows. They don't follow America East, you know, so I think for me, that was the matchup I wanted. And when you go into it saying, I got nothing to lose, like, you actually have nothing to lose and you just ball out, you know? Like, I played with a free mind that whole time and, you know, luckily things went my way. But, you know, you kind of just go in there knowing that, you know, you got to just play the way you play and don't let the media or anybody like that, like, kind of, like, talk you down.
100%. For you, when you got that initial over the head, I think Shelly like hit his stick on his helmet. What was that moment like for you? Do you remember that specifically?
So I'll remember that till I'll remember that till the day I die, man. Come on. But
love that.
I mean, a player like Shelly, dude. Like when you can take the ball away from a guy like that, you're gonna remember that. But I do remember it because there was a little student section, probably like 6 guys. I don't know if they were alumni. I don't know if they went to Virginia, but the whole game were chirping me, saying like, "You got nothing," like so all that type of stuff. Just chirping. Good chirps though. Good chirps. And then it was the end. I think it was like that was like the end of the half when I did that. And I remember I did that. We went down. We did like a last second like 18-yard shot from one of our D middies. But I remember looking over at the student section. I was like, I don't hear anything now. Like all that type of stuff. So I'll remember that till the day I die. I was like, they actually made that happen. So I'm sorry for Shelly, but your boys kind of made that happen because it brought it out of me.
I love
Let
that.
me jump in right here because honestly, I remember that so vividly, Jake. And I'm pretty sure it was like a Wednesday game. So it's UVA versus Albany midweek. No one else is watching anything.
No.
I'm sitting here, TLN, I'm monitoring the game. I see you do that. And by the way, AP dropped your stats. You had 2 goals, 4 ground balls, 3 caused turnovers in that game. So it wasn't just that one over the head check. But I saw that check and I'm watching. It's on ACC Network Extra. So it doesn't have replays right away until the halftime break. And I'm like, they got to have that as part of the package, like the replay of that. And when they showed that replay at half, I was like, we got the post, man. This is going to be a banger. And you scored 19 points your final year at Albany. I just want to know how many times you open your phone, like probably still in your gear and stuff in the locker room, you already saw TLN had a banger post to you.
Oh yeah, there was a good little timeline during that year that you guys had it right away. It was awesome.
Yeah. I love that. And I think too, like another like historic performance that we talked about yesterday in a pre-show call was in 22, the legendary performance when you guys played 𝐓𝐄, the rainy game and everything. What type of moment was that like for you and obviously Albany as a whole?
So for me personally, actually I'll go Albany as a whole first. Albany as a whole, like that's the first time we're ever gonna play 𝐓𝐄 at Albany ever again. Gates not coming back to Albany after that. They can't, like we always kept saying like we love the rain, all that type of stuff. Like Syracuse doesn't like the rain. They obviously got the dome and all that stuff. It's always a big controversy with all that stuff. But for Albany as a whole, it's like that was the one time that Syracuse come to us, like night game. We got the whole student section there, girls team, guys basketball, like everyone was there. Ponchos, they're all freaking loving it. And it's a night game, so the lights are out, the freaking chrome domes are out, like
Yep.
rain's glistening off everything, and then we're ended up winning that game, and it was like, holy crap, like we just did that for the Capital Region, which is awesome. But for me personally, I'm originally from Syracuse, 10 minutes away from the dome. So I grew up in Liverpool, New York, and my whole high school career, I was like, I want to go to 𝐓𝐄 bad. Like I went to games where, like one of my first games that I went to was Lyle Thompson in Albany at the Dome. All that type of stuff. I was watching JoJo Marasco. I was watching Joel White. All these guys. I still remember to this day. Like they told me I was too small. They told me I wasn't big enough. All that type of stuff. And they ended up having.
That you couldn't cover a guy coming out of the box. Were they saying stuff like me?
They were definitely saying stuff like that. So they didn't have faith. They didn't have faith in the little guy. So I ended up going to Albany, which at the time when I committed to Albany, they were number 1 in the nation. Like I was like, how can you get better than that? So that was a personal game for me to kind of go out with the vendetta of like, you guys didn't want me, even though it was Desco and Leland Rogers and all those guys, but it was kind of just the sole fact of like Syracuse didn't want me. Like I'm gonna go out there and just show out.
100%.
Yeah, I'm sure Gate didn't want to go back after he saw Elijah Gash.
Oh yeah,
throat.
He was like, as long as 81
clips ever.
As long as 81's there, he's never stepping foot in the Capital Region ever again. That guy's freaking nuts, man.
Alberici watched that game, was like, yep, now there's no way Syracuse coming to Mikey either. So he ruined that for them, too.
I love that.
The two games, play Albany and Army in the Dome, won't play them on the road. Gate was like, I'll give it a chance. Goes to Albany, they lose. That's the end of that one.
Yep.
There goes
yep.
that.
That's the end of that.
The travel games. No shot. Now, well, let's transition to today. Obviously, this past weekend, you guys come off a crazy comeback win, clinching the number one in the West for you guys. You had a big two-pointer to take the lead in the fourth. A big game for you and the Outlaws as a whole. How's the season been so far? Obviously, coming off what was obviously last year and not the greatest limelight.
I mean, honestly, like, long story short, like, we have one of the best locker rooms that I've ever been a part of. Like, from top down, like, everybody who's come in during the middle of the season, like, just everyone just is locked in. Like, and you can tell that. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about the team from last year. I mean, obviously I was a rookie, like, just learning and everything like that. But, you know, just like the feeling that we get when we're at practice or when we're in the locker room before games, when we're hanging out after games, like, this locker room is like something different. So I think that that's a huge part of it, is that everyone is, you know, locked into the sole fact of, like, we're here for one reason, that's a championship. And the second fact is to have fun with each other on the field and off the field. So
100%. I think that's cool to say, right? You have 4 Tewaratons winners in one locker room, no egos. I think we heard Pat Cavanaugh saying, 0 egos. And I think we heard Pat Cav say the fact that, like, he rooms with Brennan O'Neill. They chat all the time. There's so many laughs. Obviously, Adam Bernhardt at the beginning or earlier in that year doesn't bring any ego in. For you guys to have this sort of a season, from the roster, it looks like, yeah, they could do it. But obviously, from what you guys had last year, it's kind of like you're putting the puzzle pieces together, which is cool. But I feel like for being out in Denver, what was that crowd like, as obviously your home cities?
Denver brings a different type of juice, I'll tell you that much. And I remember me and Brendan were talking about it on our way to Denver. We were like, F Utah. Like, everyone thinks that Utah is like the best city, all this stuff. They're they're booing them all the time. Like, I won't lie, like, Utah brings the energy too. Like, that's a sick home crowd to play in front of. But we were just both saying, like, dude, like, do they not understand what Denver brings to us? Like, all that stuff. So we were hoping that they brought the energy, and dude, those last like 4 minutes of that game, like, that was nuts. And into the OT too, like, every single goal that we scored on that comeback run, like, the crowd was going insane, dude.
It was crazy.
Wow. I thought the Archers got off easy. They should have had to play in Denver after the way Utah treated you guys.
Oh yeah,
totally
for sure.
Agree. I do have a question. When you're playing in a type of game like that, and there's 3 minutes left, is there, like, in the back of your mind, like, wow, damn, this might be the best game of the year? Like, at what point do you know it, or is it, like, in the locker room after the game? Like, damn, that might have been.
So it's usually in the locker room after the game. During the game, you're kind of, like, locked in a little bit. Yeah. I mean, for me, I play very loose. Like, I joke around. Like, I'm joking around, like, when we're freaking down by 4. Like, I'm like, this is lacrosse. Like, give the ball to Jared and let him freaking run around a guy. Like, we're gonna score some goals. But no, it's more so like that. Like, after the game, after the fact, you're like, holy crap! Like, that game was sick. Like, we just played 9 quarters of lacrosse in 13 hours. Like, that was insane. But it's just after the fact. Like, you're like, wow. Like, that game went to OT. We just came back from that much. Like, and in front of our home crowd. Like, it can't get any better than that.
Right.
100%.
Especially with the way Friday ended.
Oh yeah. Friday stinks the way that happens, but I think that personally, like, we needed that a little bit. I think we needed to lose. I think we needed to get humbled. I know for me, for sure, I was riding the high horse, man. I was like, dude, we haven't lost a game since week 2. I was like, this is sick. Like, but I think that we needed that loss. And I think we all felt that after the fact. We were like, we're gonna bring the juice tomorrow, and, like, we're gonna clinch this number 1 seed.
Yeah, and I wouldn't, like, beat yourself up too much, or, like, the locker room, and obviously you guys aren't with the big win, but, like, it wasn't anything you guys did on the field. James Hogan tweeted, I think, at halfway through the game, and he said, are the Denver Outlaws the best PLL team that we've ever seen? And immediately the offense just broke in real time. And I'm like,
Yeah,
and you can
literally.
you can blame like anyone on the offensive end. Like some guys can be pointing the finger.
Yeah.
that was James Hogan's fault.
Yeah.
He
The
has a
old
track
James.
record.
When you
he has
guys-
a track record of doing this.
when you got-
he did it in the Notre Dame
Yeah,
game.
I ended the Notre Dame three-peat earlier in the year. And then this time, you guys were rolling. So I tweeted, I was like, if the Outlaws end up winning the championship, like, we might have to start talking about them as, like, maybe the best PLL team ever. Which I was like, wow. Like, they ran the table, right? Won 8 in a row, won a championship. And then the minute I tweeted that, probably within the next 10 minutes, you guys was on that roll when the Chaos went on like a 9-2 run for like that 20-plus minutes when you guys just couldn't find the back of the net.
Yeah.
And then once Doogs retweets it with the, oh, God, here we go, then it just is.
Yeah, it's downhill.
Yeah, downhill
Just
from there.
snowball.
Starts getting real.
Yeah.
And you just know that I'm in like the middle of bumfuck Maine, like no service. This is the one tweet on my phone, and I'm just grinning ear to ear, like
Yup.
this is awesome.
Yup.
Like,
That's hilarious.
like, because just like you, like the way that I watch across is very loose, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Outlaws. Like, I think you guys are probably the most fun team this season to watch. I kind of have had the pleasure
100%.
of being able to see the way that you guys do interact on and off the field, and I've seen it firsthand, and it is something special. Like, totally double down on like everything that you've said, and I've kind of said it on the podcast as well. Like, they do have this different type of mojo, team chemistry that I haven't seen between the other squads. So you guys got definitely have something special.
100%. 100%.
Jake, what was...
How bad do you want another shot at the Chaos, though, Jake? They're 2-0 against you this year, weirdly.
Hey, I mean, they're 2-0. They're a great team. I mean, I wouldn't say I want a piece of them. You know what I mean? Like I'm good with whoever comes into our way. Like whether it's the Redwoods or the Chaos. I think that's the way that's playing out right now, right? Like the Archers are kind of
Looks
up
that
and
way.
out.
Archers aren't all the way out, but they need some
But
serious help.
They need
Clinical,
some
as Mitch
serious
says.
things to happen. So I mean, for me, it's not. I don't think it's we want a shot at the Chaos again. I think it's just whoever's comes into our way into the way of the championship. That's who we're going to take care of.
Cool.
100%. Yeah, I think an interesting fact that people might not know is this year you're killing it. You have 12 points on the year. Only 3 other long polls in PLL history have had double digits as a poll. But last year, you only recorded 2 points. What was the big mindset jump that you took from year 1 to year 2?
I think last year I definitely I'll say it firsthand. I'll go hand up too, man. Like I deserve all the criticism that I got last year because I didn't perform to the way that other half of the lacrosse world wanted me to perform. You know what I mean? So I know for a fact that I didn't play well at all last year, and I don't know if that was more of a personal thing or like a team thing. I just think that me personally, I wasn't fully, I think, ready for the speed and everything like that. So I think last year was definitely a learning curve for me, just because I understood what type of player I was, but just like with anybody, just like with, Jared Bernhardt coming into our locker room or Pat Cav coming in the locker room, they got to learn how to play with each other, and I got to learn how to play with our defense. I've never played with Maryland defender and 2 Duke guys who play a totally different style of defense than an Albany Great Dane plays. You know what I mean? So it's like,
100%.
it's so much different, and you just got to get comfortable with the guys and everything. So I think that's the biggest thing. I've gotten super close with Ryan Terafenko, with Mike Manley, with Jesse, with JT. I've just gotten super close with them from last year to this year. So I think that just, helps with on the field. Like it just is more comfortable to play, and you start finding ways to kind of get your groove back and stuff. So I think it was more of the getting more comfortable and understanding what I needed to do as a player from last year to this year.
So
100%, I like that.
going off that, I ask every interviewee this question. I'm sure you had it. Everyone else that we've interviewed had it. What was your welcome to the league moment?
What was my welcome to the league moment? I mean, last year, welcome to the league moment. I can't think of one super off the top of my head. I think it's more so on, not of a big hit or you hear some of that type of stuff.
Right.
I think for me it was more of if I did something wrong during a game, like looking back at the goal and seeing the ball in the net from me like not sliding or a guy running right by me, and I would look back and I would have to look at Jesse and I would have to look at Mike, and I would be like, they're pissed at me, like, or like I would hear I would hear from like Tarafanko like running off the field, and I would be like, yeah, they're pissed right now, like they are so disappointed in me right now, and I have no idea what I did wrong.
That's
I
good.
love that.
I actually respect that
Yeah,
too.
that's-
Like, was
Dude,
it a little bit?
it's-
Was it like the mental aspect of the game?
Yeah,
just like what you
it's
said.
all like it's all the little things that like maybe I didn't do right last year, like the sliding on time, or like even like talking to my other guys on the field. Like it was just little stuff like that, and it's like for me personally as a player, everything that I do on the field is because I don't want to let that guy down. You know, I don't want to let Jesse down. I don't want to let Mike down. I don't want to let JT down. I don't want to let Coach Sudan down. Like, I don't want to let anybody down with if I don't slide right or if I let a guy run right by me. So for me personally, like whenever I did something wrong last year, it was like, damn, I'm gonna hear about that. Like because I knew I did something wrong, and I was like, I don't want to disappoint them. You know, so I think that's the welcome to the league, is like knowing that you have some vet guys who expect you to be the player that you need to be, and you need to be that way every single weekend.
Yeah, Jake, I watched you, I think, this weekend. I think you pulled up from like 30 or 35 yards and shot a two-pointer, and you missed the cage, but still, like, at what point in the field are you in range? Like, when are you, like, over the midfield line and like, all right, I can pull this? Because you were a good 10 to 15 yards behind the two-point arc, and you let that boy fly.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. When I'm on the field during the game, and when I go to like 20 yards is like when I feel like I'm like, oh, I'm kind of close to the goal. For some reason, I don't know why, but then when I look out on a film, I'm like, holy like I'm far. like I look at it in film, I'm like, why did I just shoot that? Like what am I doing? But sometimes it goes in, like the past couple 2-pointers of these games. Like I've been 2-3 yards past the 2-point line. You know what I mean?
The one you had at Fairfield
So,
was really deep.
yeah, though, like they're getting to the point where I can maybe start pulling it, but it's all deception. Like it's all maybe a bounce here or there, like shooting it right at the goalie's stick, like I did like last or Saturday. I shot it right at Entenmann's
Jake,
stick.
I
and
can't-
just moved it.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Yeah,
thought that
yeah.
was a bounce shot up until an hour ago when I just happened to be watching it again. And I was like, oh my God, that was right at his stick.
Straight overhand, right at his stick. Just deception, man.
Jake, I saw you hit a shot your last year at Albany, like a buzzer beater, half field. You know the goal I'm talking about? It was just like,
Oh, the
stupid.
UMBC
There was like
one?
1 second. UMBC, yeah. So
Yeah.
if you could hit it from half field at a standstill, I think
Oh,
you're
yeah.
in range anywhere. That was insane. But I'm curious, now that you have another year in used to it and you're used to the speed, how do you like as a transition guy, the 10 yards that aren't in the middle of the field in the PLL? You like
Oh,
that?
it's actually like crazy. Like if you get a quick reset, or if the way he's been doing it all year, Logan McNaney clean save up and out. As soon as you catch that ball, as soon as you're over that midfield line, like you're like, oh, I'm either making a pass or shooting right now because I'm right next to Brennan O'Neill. So that little 10-yard gap is a huge difference.
Can you tell us more? Like, obviously, the casual fan has been watching Logan McNaney dominate for so long, but maybe they don't quite understand the clean save thing and like the quick outlets. Can you tell us how it's impacted your game in transition?
No, like you like the casual person like just really doesn't understand how hard how hard we're shooting. Like deep holes, like these midfielders, like these guys got some cannons. So when it hits your mesh, like as a goalie, like that, there's no way that ball doesn't pop out. And for him to get these clean saves and to already be, either getting a save at the 5-hole right at his feet or making a save up high, and like I look back to see the ball and it's in his stick and he's already staring at me with the ball like right by his ear, like I'm ready to pass it to you, like let's go. You know, I think that like he's been doing it all year, but he makes it look so easy. And with every single save, like I don't know what the data is on it, the stats on it, but it feels like every single save that he has this year is like a clean save. So
88%.
88% is
It's
absolutely
absurd.
like that
It's
is
absurd.
that's absolutely
It's
insane.
insanity.
That's absolutely insane.
I have no idea if that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought I saw
that's my
65.
own. That's the Googlytics right there.
I'm pretty sure I saw
Googlytics.
Patrick McKeever tweet
Googlytics.
65.
I mean,
which is
65
crazy.
is still insane.
Yeah,
I do like how everyone's like,
I
okay.
believed it.
You
We
say
all
something
believed
on
it. We all
college,
believed
it's
it.
easy.
behind your voice.
we all believed it because it seems like every single shot that he saves is
Yeah.
freaking clean, man. Like it's insane. He makes it so much easier, and like you said, like it's elevated my game just that much because I'm obviously like worried about the offensive end just as much as I am the defensive end. And when I see him clean save and I'm able to get behind my midfielder who's crashing the net, like it's so easy just to get a one bouncer or a pass right to my ear and I'm up and out.
I see you and Tarafanko cheating a lot, like base
Oh,
runners
yeah.
trying to, get the lead. I see it a lot. You guys do it better than anybody. And in fact, you guys connected on a great Tarafanko goosing it to the middle of the field. You got the ground ball, ran down, hit Brennan O'Neill. That was an awesome play at the beginning of the fourth quarter, I think, or second half, whatever it was. But I'm curious about your relationship with Brennan O'Neill. I know you guys are boys, draft classmates. What's he like behind the scenes? Like, we all want to know. Like, he seems quiet, reserved, but like, as someone who knows him personally, what's he like?
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. He's just like you said, he's quiet and reserved, and he's the most humble freaking guy you've ever met. Like this guy like wants everyone else to win way more than he wants himself to win. Like it's honestly insane, and I think that's why he like has like that, I guess, like feeling towards him, like on the field, like you can trust him because you know that all he wants to do is win, and it doesn't matter if he has 0 goals or if he has 11 goals. Like he would rather you score every single goal and him just be a part of it than like anything else. So I think for me, like learning more about him these past 2 years and stuff, like it's great that I'm teammates with him because I can say that he's like quickly becoming like a guy that I trust with my life, like a best friend. So like being with him like on after the field, like or off the field, sorry, and after these games and stuff, like it kind of like enhances your friendship even more. But he's the most reserved, quiet guy who's humble, and he doesn't care about anything but loving his teammates and hanging out and winning some lacrosse games.
I got one more for you. Going back to how we started this show, and gave you the compliments, not the hate of you not being able to cover someone outside the box, which I was proven wrong by. I do have a question for you. Who is the toughest cover that you've had out of the box in the PLL?
In the PLL?
Or you could go college too, but I was gonna go PLL, and you don't have to answer someone from the West right now.
Don't have to answer someone from the West, so
Because I know you got the playoffs coming up.
yeah, you got Philly, you got the Whip Snakes, and then you got
New York and Boston.
New York and Boston. Boston, no. Alice, no. I mean, this year...
Chloe's like, no one on that team.
This year, I got a few lucky trail checks on him, but Brad Smith, the vet, he has a quick first step. He has a weirdly quick first step with how big and long he is. But he's just super tall, and like you don't think that he's gonna move as quick as he does, and then all of a sudden he's splitting left to right, and he's within 10 yards. And luckily, like I think I got like 3 or 4 like lucky little trail checks, just like kind of touching his stick at the end of his shot, and I would just like kind of like hit it to where it flies out. But if I don't hit those trail checks, like he's probably got like 4 goals right there. So he was a hard guard. Yeah, he was a hard guard.
I love that answer too, because I think he's the most underrated midfielder.
No, he's sick. I don't understand
no
because
credit.
I mean, It's because he's the same as Brennan. Like, he's just a humble vet who just does his job, and he's like, I'm just gonna try to get everyone around me better, you know.
It's my fault. We don't post him
He's
enough.
also one of the most underrated.
He literally is.
He's one of the most underrated guys from 2-point range too in this league.
Yeah, dude. He can sling the rock on the run. Like, I put him up with Romar Dennis with his on the run like 2-pointers. Like, it's the same stuff. Like, he's sick.
And we're talking about guys who don't get enough credit, and honestly, like, Jake, you're the complete opposite. Like, everything you do is a highlight. I was just talking today. I was like, dude, we need to make some kind of content around Gavin Adler. He's having an amazing year, but it's just like nothing he does is like a highlight reel play. Who is a player in the league that you feel like he is really good, other than Brad Smith, I guess? Like, could be a defensive player, could be someone on your team who is an unsung hero.
I mean, he's starting to get some love, but Dalton Young on our team. Dalton Young's a freaking dog, man. Have you seen him
Hoagie
drop defenders with ease?
Jake, don't worry. I've been on it all year. I mentioned it last week. He was the most underrated player in your whole offense, the way he's able to connect. Everyone talks about the Tuaraton guys, but he's the glue to fit in that offense. Down the stretch in Fairfield, that game-tying goal that he had before Bernhardt took over, Dalton Young's been awesome all year.
Dude, he's freaking, and he's got the softest hands. You can throw anything in the middle with him, and he's catching it and he's finishing it. Like, he's one of the most underrated guys like I've ever seen, like, on a team of our caliber. Like, he goes out there and he will drop a defender, and it's not like he's like as fast as like Andrew McAdory or anything like that, but he's so good at rocking, stopping. It's bad how he makes defenders look, and he's dirty inside. I'm telling you, man, he's freaking sick. He's one of my favorite players to watch.
You know, there's one of my favorite players to watch was this kid number 25 out of Ohio State.
Hell yeah, it was.
I don't know what happened to his
Hell yeah,
career.
it
He
was.
started doing like the YouTube blogs or something.
Hell yeah.
But if we got the kid, if we got the kid number, we got Mitchell Pehlke coming out of the box right at you, Jake.
Ooh.
Is he getting any by you? Are you getting by him?
First of all, I would say I'd take it out of the box and I'd bring it to X, and then we'd start to dodge.
Yeah.
But Piseno, take away the answer.
Mitch, if you're rocking back and forth, man, around the crease, I'm gonna sit there until you pick a side, and then as soon as you
He's seen the highlights.
And then as soon as you hang your stick to try to shoot, I'm just gonna go over the head. That's the simple answer.
There we go.
He knows
There we go.
exactly what you're doing.
I like
You're going
that,
to take
yeah.
it out of the box. You're going to run it down to X. Then you're going to go back and forth.
I'm going to shake him
back
shake
and forth.
bake.
I'm probably not going to go left. I'm coming back to my right.
Yep.
And then if not,
And-
he's going to pass it and set a pick. That's the
Listen, this is for all the younger defenders out there too who want to throw a takeaway check and stuff. No matter what offensive guy you are, no matter what caliber you are, every single time that you want to shoot, you got to bring your stick back. You hang it.
I like that.
No matter what, you're hanging it. No matter what.
I like that. A little art of the over the head. I got one. I'll kind of finish us on this one if that's good. You know, as a fellow Italian yourself, we're both rocking the 5'6", 5'7", 5'8" height.
Yeah.
We've seen some of your basketball highlights back in the day. Do we ever think we could pull like a Pat Spencer or something like that?
No way. No way. Dude, I was strictly a scrappy defender who could probably shoot maybe 2 threes a game. I shot 2 threes a game. Maybe I would make them. Maybe I would miss them. Not gonna say anything, but I would always. Those guys who are getting boards and stuff and they're bringing it down, I'm going right under them, swooping that ball. I'm only there for the scrappy little plays and playing defense, man. I'm never gonna pull it back.
Were you going for the rebounds? Or what were you like in transition? Were you going for the rebounds? Were you leaking out in transition, waiting for me
I'm
to
leaking
hit you on
out.
the basketball court too?
I'm leaking out and probably
Fast
getting.
Break City.
I'm leaking out and probably getting the LeBron James fucking block on the way down.
Blocked by James.
I'm thinking I'm all free, about to go for a layup. I'm getting like 3 feet off the ground, and this guy's soaring over the top of me, probably blocking that thing off the backboard.
Yeah, you get blocked and you're just begging that kid is in lacrosse season. You're like, I hope this MFer just plays lacrosse.
Yeah,
so I can hit him with
he's
the
playing
nastiest
lax,
over the
man.
head.
Don't forget it, Mitch. Mitch's dream was to play in the NBA back in the day in third
Yeah,
grade. Kevin
don't
Pehlke
forget
had to
that.
tell him to pick up
Same
a
here.
lacrosse stick.
Same here,
It's-
Mitch.
it's-
I wanted the ball too. The height didn't help, man.
Yeah.
Kevin Pehlke
What do you
did
get
you a
blessed with
favor,
that?
Mitch.
I know. Kept us in the sport. Gosh. Anyone else? Are we good here? We want to wrap up.
I want to ask Jake one more question. I think it's
Yeah.
important. We watched you play for the Haudenosaunee Nationals back in 2023 at the World Games. You won the Best Defender Award. You were awesome. Throwing over the head checks there on the world stage. If people watch, they would know. But we obviously hope to see you do it again in the Olympics in 2028. But I'm just curious, coming from you, what is it like to play on that team and help represent the indigenous culture on the international stage?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, all the learning, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but, like, the learning of my culture and my indigenous roots came late for me. Like, I didn't know that had indigenous roots or heritage or anything like that until I was probably a senior in high school. So it came very late for me. My dad didn't know it all either, and it's all on my dad's side, so I don't have a clan or any of that because it's all on your mother's side. So it came very late for me, and I'm still trying to learn everything. But for them to, like, open their arms to me and kind of, bring me as one of them, and even though I don't feel like, I know enough about my culture yet to even, like, go dive into it, but everything that they've taught me about the game, about the medicine game, about all the little spiritual things that we do on and off the field, I truly feel like I'm a part of that family. And I feel like I've been a part of that family since day one. And playing on the U20s in Ireland, that was the first step in it. So once I got into the men's stage, like playing with Lyle and all those guys, first of all, that was a dream come true, playing with those guys, the Stotts brothers, the Thompsons, playing for Lars and Coach Marr. That was a dream come true. And to do it with those guys along my side, and even to learn a little bit more about my indigenous roots and heritage and culture and everything like that through them, meant the world to me. And I think that hopefully, when the Olympics come around, the right decisions are made. But I obviously don't have control of that. And, it's really just, where the dominoes are going to fall for that type of decision. But, you hope that they make the right decision. Hopefully I can represent them on the biggest stage there is. I think that would be another everything from when I was a kid to now. It's like everything that I do new, it's like a dream come true. It's a dream come true. And, that would be another dream come true,
Fire.
Share some dreams for the rest of us, but man, we're all rooting for it for sure. And yeah, that was an awesome team in 2023, and you balled out, and we'd love to see it again.
Yeah, it was because of my team. It was because of my teammates that they made me feel comfortable and at home and a part of the family. And just like with anyone, if you feel comfortable where you're at, you're gonna flourish. So.
Bang, I like that. Well, Jake, appreciate you hopping on the show.
Thanks, Jake.
And,
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate you.
This definitely won't be your last time. And I'll correct Doogs next time. He might have some bad stuff about you, so it's okay.
Mitch,
point the thumb, not the finger.
We'll get
He did
him
the
live.
hand up.
Yeah, now it's all good.
Did the hand
We'll
up.
get him
couldn't
live
even
in
form
the
an
chair
opinion
in
about
Philly
you.
after they win the semifinal game. We'll get him live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake, I think the best dream we could have is we are in New Jersey. What is it? Sports Illustrated Stadium, and we're having a nice adult beverage with you, holding up the PLS championship trophy.
You're not.
Let's go, Jake Piseno, the Italian on the Mitchell Pehlke Lacrosse Show. Bang!
I love it.
Now let's hop into Start, Bench, Cut. Favorite segment on the show. It's a week. It's a mainstay week in, week out.
Was that serious?
This time around.
Was that are you trying to like pretend like we're not? Are you pretending like we're not gonna leave that in? Corey,
So,
I asked for
bench
nothing from the
cut.
show. Leave that in.
Start, bench, cut.
Back-to-back weeks.
Bring it in. I'm a nice guy. I don't care. Clown me, clown you. We're nice
Point
guys.
the finger.
Start, bench, cut. We have the best chirps. Ooh, I was a big chirper back in my heyday.
No, you were
Still am.
not.
I was never a chirper. I'm a nice guy. Start, bench, cut, best chirps. Squid, you suck, and scoreboard. Dukes. What are we missing?
I think I might. I remember throwing
God.
around
You're
back in
27.
2020.
Don't
Yeah,
forget.
back Back when Mitch didn't even make YouTube videos, so like what, 2018?
Prehistoric dinosaur days.
Yeah, this is like bees.
BC.
Getting hit with a NARP. Getting hit with NARP was pretty bad in 2012.
Okay, give us your start bench cut.
Dude, what does NARP mean? He doesn't know.
Non-athletic regular person.
Yeah.
I didn't know
heard
that.
in
I did
lacrosse
not
field.
know that.
Never heard that in lacrosse field.
NARP
Really?
was, yeah. Kev, do you think NARP used to be a good one?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm shocked Hoagie didn't know what an ARP was.
I didn't know. I've probably been called it, but I didn't know what it stands for.
Nah, good thing is it takes one to know one, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah, fair.
All right,
I guess I'm a
Dukes, what
NARP
you got?
guy.
Start bench cut.
Squid.
No.
What is it?
Yeah.
was a
Squid,
compliment.
you suck in scoreboard.
Dude, these are the worst ones. I'll start squid because that's calling someone a squid is hilarious to me. I think the scoreboard thing is about the corniest thing you could possibly say to someone. I used to think that you won an argument or you won the chirp if someone hit you with the scoreboard. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
Summer League. We have 4 more games this weekend. I don't care. So I'm cutting scoreboard. And then what was the other one?
You suck.
You said them all. You suck.
You suck? Yeah, sure, I guess I'll cut that.
I'm starting you suck.
Yeah.
If you can get a guy that just looks you in the eye and say you suck, that's demoralizing.
You know what?
It
The way you
means
just
something.
said that, I agree with you. I might
Yeah.
start it now.
Yeah. If going one-on-one with Piseno and he strips the ball and he says you suck in my eyes, I'm like, dude, I got to rethink this whole thing.
Yeah,
I got to
think
rethink
your
it.
ass.
Yeah,
Your
that's
ass.
one too. Yeah. So I'm starting you suck. I'm benching Squid. It's one of those that it could be both funny but also like, damn, I'm a loser. Demoralizing. Scoreboard, to your point, Dukes, I'm cutting that because if you get to that point where a guy goes scoreboard, that's a win in your column. Kev, did we say any of these back in the 90s?
It hits every time.
Yeah. Hey, I hate to be the guy, but it's the ultimate ender of the argument. Scoreboard start.
Oh, my. See,
No.
Dude, timeless. Oh, look,
my God.
I wasn't a big trash talker.
We
So this
know.
is the only trash talk I would talk, would be scoreboard. You know? Sorry.
That fits
I'm sorry
you
it's lame. I'm sorry it's lame.
100%.
I'm
so lame,
sorry it's
Kev.
lame,
It's so
but
lame.
it's yeah, it is. But look,
You're a
would
nice
you
guy.
want this is like asking
Oh, God, here we go. Value.
No, it's asking someone I'm not an expert in chirping. Yes, value. Yes.
Just no hypotheticals. Just give us our bench cut.
You know what? You guys all suck. You're squids, and check the scoreboard for ball knower. That's what I think. No, I'm starting scoreboard.
That was a good one, Kev.
That was
I'm
a good
starting
one, Kev.
scoreboard. I'm gonna bench you suck, and then squid gets cut only because in my day in the '90s it was fish, not squid. I'm not saying I played in the '90s. I was just born in the '90s.
I know that. I was born in
Mitch really
2000.
doesn't
Really
know the
stable
difference.
me. Okay.
He didn't know what lore
Hoagie,
was
finish
before this
off.
episode.
Hoagie.
I'm starting you suck. I mean, if someone's just like you suck, you're just like, damn. Like even or even if you give it, I never was a trash talk guy either. But if you just say you suck, you're just like, damn. Like I remember one time I was, especially as a face-off guy, you run over the midfield line and you're kind of jogging off, and guys try and chirp you, and this guy goes, "You suck," and I was like, damn, do I suck? But no, no, we're
What
good.
makes
So
you think?
I'm starting you suck. I'm benching squid. And then I'm cutting scoreboard. Scoreboard, if you say scoreboard, I'm just like, nice, man. Like, everyone can see it. See ya. But, I mean, if you're a squid, if they could call it a squid, that's pretty like, yeah, damn.
Yeah.
But I think a classic, just like, you suck, dude. Like, get all, like, what are you doing?
That
You're
means
just like,
something. That
yeah,
means
that means
something.
something. So starting you suck, benching squid, cutting
All
scoreboard.
right.
Mitch, can we talk about Mitch's
Tune in.
fraudulent? Can we talk about Mitch's fraudulent ball knower of the
Tune
week
in.
last week?
Tune in, lock in, get your soda, get your popcorn. You waited an hour and 45 minutes for ball knower of the week.
This year's going to be
The
like,
standings
what
right
was
now
Mitchell Pehlke's
is
first
Mitchell
video?
Pehlke.
Buck Barbershop.
Mitchell Pehlke is at 2. With
Asterisk.
Mitch Pelkey's tied for first place.
Mickey
Yeah, they
Mouse
couldn't give
too.
Mitch. They couldn't have
Mickey
Mitch's
Mouse.
name be on the
Actually,
show
let's
and
let
finish
producer
last
Coy-
place in the
Mickey
ball
Mouse
knower of
coin.
the
Let's
week.
let producer
It would
Coy,
have been
what's
bad
the standings
optics.
right now?
Mickey
It would have
Mouse
been bad
coin.
optics to have his
Shut
name
up.
on the show and be in
Shut
last
up.
place.
Shut
Shut up,
up.
Mitchell. Mute him, Corey.
That would be great.
Official standings. Kev is still in first with 3. Doogs 2.5 in second.
What? We're counting
Yep.
the half point?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
your
after we
Mickey
gave
Mouse
you half
point.
Been.
After we gave you the Make-A-Wish point,
Mitch has 2 in third.
I have
Hoagie
one.
with 0.5.
0.5.
Hoagie with a half a point. That's sad. I would rather him say 0. That's sickening.
I mean,
All right,
I
Ball
can't really
Let's hear
chirp
it.
because even with your Mickey Mouse point, you'd still be beating me. So I
Yeah.
can't say anything. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm
Like
about
a
to be going.
COVID-
I'm
you had
about
the-
to
you had
be
the
tied for
COVID ring.
first.
Yeah. You're the Nestler War at the Shore Championship point right now.
Yeah. That's
that's
sad.
with the
COVID
Ricky-
championship.
Nazi
2020, there was one other team there. All right, Corey, what do we got?
All right, ball knower of the week. The Cannons had back-to-back MVPs from 2009 through 2011.
Paul Rabel.
Paul Rabel,
Boyle,
Matt Siebold,
Boyle,
Will Manning,
Siebold,
Ryan
Boyle, Ryan Boyle.
Paul Rabel won in 2009 and in 2011. Who won in 2010?
Max Siebold,
Brody Merrill.
Boyle,
Ryan Boyle,
No.
Will Manning,
Pizer,
No.
John Grant Jr.
No. I'll give a hint. Second highest scorer in Cannons history.
Matt Posquet.
Bingo.
Boom.
Wow.
See you
That's
later,
ball knower.
losers.
that was a good poll, Kev.
I was going to give that to Kev. That's a great poll.
That was a great poll.
Wow.
See, that's
That's
a
a
fair
great
and
poll.
square ball knower of the week.
Yeah, that's a fair
Kev is
and
a
square
ball knower. He knows the answer, not STX Sam.
That puts your ball knowerness rockets high. Cause
Yeah, I mean,
don't
that's
think
ball
Dukes or
knower
James or
knowledge.
I could have knew that.
It's like
God,
I
I
always
like
say, you suck, squids. Check the scoreboard.
I like that. All right, we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Peace.